planted.
Welcome to episode 39 of SpikeTalk. It was long awaited by everybody, I think. I broke the internet last week. Now, FrosT, you've broken the internet this whole week. We got to get down to what everybody wants to hear. The FrosT and Termi timeline. Like, we already spoke about this on episode 14, I believe it was. So it's not like anything new. But I think going along with what your tweet said is there's a lot more eyes now on Pacific because of all the success and everything that's been going on, and that is a really good thing for the region.
And that I didn't understand when everything happened.
Yeah, so everything's under more of a microscope.
Right.
People could have still just looked back on that episode and probably gotten a lot of the answers that you're going to get here, but...
And there's no reason for the discourse, the online discourse.
Yeah, but either way, let's just get the timeline from start till present of the history between you and Termi. So,
yeah,
let's start it off from the top. Why you have beef with him?
Okay, so I'm skipping some steps because the only thing that is really relevant is what happened when we first met. We're doing the coaching thing the first year.
What is it? What is the coaching thing?
Like the riot, it's like the content piece where you have all the coaches sit at a round table or whatever and just talk shit, basically.
Okay.
So we're there. I'm going to preface all of this with saying this is not conjecture. This is not anything. This is simply, there are people that were there that saw this, that know this, that if it needed to be verified, this can be verified. I go to say hello, stick my hand out. He walks right past me. There is a chance that he didn't see me, correct? I'm all for that. The first time, okay, we're about to leave. We do the same thing. I'm just there talking with some people, actually, conveniently, some of the same people that I was around the first time, because it was my first time getting to meet them and speak to them or whatever, blah, 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 in person. So then, you know me, I could be sometimes a little bit of an ass. Okay, the first time, it didn't go well, but shit could happen. I get it. This time, I'm sarcastic, so I go, "Hey, Termi, bye." Looks at me, just walks. Doesn't even acknowledge my existence. So now I know, oh, it's like that. Okay.
What did you do to him?
Nothing. I didn't do anything. But it doesn't matter. Like,
yeah.
Even if, so I think this whole assumption is that Termi is like very classy and, super intelligent and all this stuff. And I'm not. That's what the rhetoric is. If you are, there's a certain level, there's a certain behavior that comes with that, right? So even if I was already detestable to him, that shouldn't have happened the way that it did. Luckily for me,
in that riot interview with all the coaches for Pacific, was there like something I didn't agree with you saying or something? Like, did you?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I did say something that pissed him off, and then maybe it just correlated with the fact that like the first time, maybe he didn't see me. This is possible.
You went up to like shake his hand and he didn't see you?
The first time, which is weird to me because everybody seems to say like I'm some schmuck. So it's like he would have noticed me.
Wait, you got to give me like some context though, because you're in like a content room. Like, can we get some environment?
So we go. It's a
like
small
you put your hand in front of him, like
oh hey, and he just kept walking. Now could have been in a rush.
Oh, so it was like a drive-by situation. Okay,
it was a drive-by situation.
Okay.
So could have been. I'm not going to trip about that. And then same drive-by situation, except he's coming my way.
So he saw you the whole time. He saw you coming.
No.
Like you made eye contact.
There's a chance he didn't. So what did I do? That's why I said I'm sarcastic. I was like, "Hey, Termi, bye," and then I did it again, and then he just kept walking. So now I know. Oh, okay. Right, the first time absolutely could have been a mistake. I don't think, guys, I'm not a small person.
Should happen.
Right.
Yeah.
Life happens, right? He could have been deep in thought. It's okay. Whatever. But when it happens twice, now you know, oh, wait, that wasn't an accident. This isn't an accident. And like I said, there are people that can corroborate this. So, okay, move on. You do whatever you got to do, right? There's some stuff in between that we'll maybe talk about during the Scrim share things. But Now let's fast forward to the handshake or the fist bump that didn't happen, right? Obviously,
the first one.
like the real problem, right? Or the one that they have a problem with. Obviously, I know the type of shit that happened. I know, or I'm assuming based on everything I just said, he doesn't fucking like me. I feel a certain way about what happened too. So I'm obviously not interested in a dap up. But, so I go up into the stage. Everybody knows what happened, right? Afterwards, now it starts the mudslinging in scrum interviews, which continues to happen for the rest of the year.
And just to clarify for all those listening, FrosT had already not dapped Termi up last year. So
and people don't know this.
Yeah, but what I'm trying to say is we're not talking about the one that blew up the internet yet.
Right.
So just to give clarification on that. So this was the first time. So this has
like
already happened. It's already happened. Yeah.
So mudslinging comes about me being, unsportsmanlike and disrespectful and a whole bunch, like a litany of shit. Yeah.
But hold on. But at the time, that was when the video had it. Was it mistranslated by who?
No. This is later.
Oh, that was a different one.
That's later.
This is okay. So this is before even that one. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So go ahead.
Yeah. So then stuff in. All right. Since we're talking about that, let's not talk about all the scrum interviews. Let's just lump them all together. In one, he shows me up and like talks about the timeouts he took. Our abyss, he saw our abyss is trash, all that stuff. Everyone now knows we didn't even practice it because you've heard Cruz and Governor and everybody talk about it. So the joke really is funny because he's like kind of being disrespectful, but in reality, none of us gave a shit. We had already qualified, right? Then you have another one where it's like, the unsportsmanlike, or the one that was mistranslated was during the translation, it was basically like he wasn't raised with manners, which isn't correct, right? At the time, obviously, since it was a right, or I don't know if it was a right translation. I don't want to mischaracterize that, but it was a video that was English subtitled. Yeah. A human did the translation. This is not AI or anything.
Yeah.
That was a translation. So English speaker, I don't speak Korean, guys, and nor does anybody else. And by the way, I'm not even the one that noticed it. That's how talent people got involved, I guess, because they were like, yo, did you see this? And we're just like, whoa, okay, whatever. But again, I didn't even address it. I didn't even address it on this show. Me and you didn't talk about this shit.
No. But just to clarify, even if it didn't say anything about your mother, he still said that you have bad manners and bad sportsmanship. Right. And so he's still taking a jab at you.
This is a common motif in every scrum, and you guys can go back and listen to it.
Mom or not, it's kind of presumed that if like someone says you have bad manners, it kind of does correlate with like your upbringing.
But again, all I keep hearing is cultural differences. So fine, let's give them all the cultural differences. Okay, this translates across all cultures. If you're talking bad about somebody publicly, that's just bad. And this is a constant thing. Whereas me, in my scrums, I don't make it about my personal vendetta with Termi, ever.
Yeah, I tried to bait you into like talking smack too, and you just would always just like be
on SpikeTalk. Yeah. And I'm like, nope, not doing it. Nope. Right? So, anyways.
But that doesn't mean it's not clear how you feel about him. So
everyone knows how I feel about it.
Yeah, everyone knows.
And what you saw is how we felt about it. So basically now, everyone goes to what happened the other day. What type of energy you think we're on now? After a year of insults and jabs and all this bullshit, and we haven't played each other since.
Yeah.
Right? So my perspective was, I'm about to walk out on stage. I look across. There's like a little thing where you can see him. I just want everyone to know, for 30 seconds, he didn't even look at me once, and I'm right in front of him. What does this remind me of? So now I know, bro, this guy, bro, hi, fuck up. So that's where the energy came from. It's not like I had a premeditated thought of like, whatever. I'm just like, oh, this fucking guy, bro, in my head, right? Mm-hmm. So then we go out there, and then all of a sudden, it looks very normal. And my natural response was, bro, let's not even fucking pretend, bro. That's actually what I said on stage. Mm-hmm. Like, we're not about to fucking dap up, right? So like that was what happened, and then it was like, mofo, let's just fucking play the game. Go to the team. guys, good luck. Don't worry about it. This is between me and Termi. Literally said that. Now, of course, not all of them probably speak English, so it's not like they understood what I was saying anyway.
Yeah.
They may think I was talking shit about them. Cap, not even close. It's just, it has never been about the players.
Yeah, it's not.
Ever.
Yeah.
So it is what it is. So you move on, you play the game, you lose, right? My Scrum interview, it was asked, like, what the fuck was that? And that's when I realized, if you just listen to my Scrum interview, wait a minute, what the fuck you mean, what the fuck is that? Oh, shit, you guys are probably just catching this for the first time. Welcome to Pacific, ladies and gentlemen. And that's when I was like, listen, shit is just between me and Termi. It is what it is. Let's just move on. Like, I gave Mako his love for the game because I think he broke the series open. And then, all that other shit, right? But again, didn't make it personal with me and Termi. Actually tried to diffuse it as best I could, given the fact that it seems like a lot of people in Pacific, for some reason, or not for some reason, but for a reason I didn't expect, seem to be so aghast at this like fist bump situation with me.
It's already happened. You already didn't fist bump him multiple times last year.
But it's irrelevant.
Also,
like, I think the difference is this time it was straight up like, nah. Whereas before it's like a late, it's like a lazy
one.
Yeah, like you don't like it's like an error.
So let me just put some food for thought into everybody's mind.
Sure.
Is it really that bad to not fist bump? Like, does it really matter that much to the point where a team should be getting penalized for it? Because this is like, I have no idea if you're gonna be penalized or not for not fucking dabbing somebody up. But in my brain, it's just like, I like, it's good entertainment because now every single time people tune into this matchup,
right now
everyone has a storyline to follow.
Right now,
not everybody needs to like everybody in gaming.
And now, that was my tweet, by the way. That's why afterwards I'm like, guys,
it's not like you hurt the fucking guy. Like, it's not like you fucking like did something or not. Like.
Listen,
I don't know.
What I'm confused by is really. Well, actually, we should probably continue with what he said in his Scrum interview. But here's what I'll say. I'm just confused by if a fist bump is considered disrespectful, not fist bumping.
Yeah.
Then what is up with all the other stuff? Because obviously people don't know about what happened, what I just mentioned at the coaching thing with Riot, which can be corroborated by humans, right? Actual humans that were there, not online warriors, right? And then all the Scrum interviews. I don't know, man. When someone is constantly taking shots, I'm not sure if that's better or worse because at least I'm not airing out my dirty laundry. Now, it is true. You air it out to the world when you decide not to shake somebody's hand in front of a lot of people. You're right. I'm not pretending to not be petty here. I'm not pretending that what I did was some like upstanding thing at all. I'm just matching the energy that people seem to have for me. And if that's what it is, that's what it is. But I've never criticized Termi for any of the post-game stuff either.
I don't know. It seems a little weird.
It is what it is. As a matter of fact, actually, do you remember what I said about some of his scrums when it was brought up on this show? Do you remember me going, talk your shit, King, you won? You remember that?
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, I know he's talking about me, and I'm still like, you know what? Fuck it, let him. Instead of going back I'm gracious in defeat. I did the same thing in this last scrum. Right? And if I win, of course, you guys have to understand, I reserve the right to talk shit. The funny thing is, when I win, I still don't. Despite what the rhetoric is online, I actually don't, and you can't find it. Because that's not what I'm about. But I'm also not going to complain if you don't like me and you have things to say. Okay, I'm not going to do the verbal sparring back and forth. I might engage at some point if something triggers or whatever. But for the most part, I'm not insecure. That doesn't bother me. It's like, okay, fine. However, that makes me think that there's real animosity between us if this continues to happen. So my perception of our situation is that, oh, there is no love lost here. And to me, tradition, sportsmanship, is between two respected parties.
Yeah.
Right? There has to be mutual respect. If we're going to dap up in front of everybody, there's mutual respect. But there isn't mutual respect here.
But should dap ups even be forced? If I don't know. This
has been my argument forever because I think, look, I have a problem with this.
I'm not sure.
If on one end we're going to say what I did was wrong, Then on the other, why are, like DRX, VCT Pacific, Riot, why are they promoting it, right? Like I was memed on, right?
Yeah.
Why was I memed on? Because I didn't fist bump him. But if I fist bumped him and that was a wrong thing to do, then we can't make light of it, or you shouldn't make light of it, I think, right? Because if it's wrong, we shouldn't show that example to other people. Like if they're going to be like, oh, there are kids watching, it's wrong to do that, then you can't cross promote it and try to make it like you can't meme it either, right? I'm willing to accept, oh, bad guy, awful person, all that stuff. Okay. But then on the other end, you can't like promote it as like an exciting thing that happened in VCT Pacific. It should be the exact opposite. So I just think we need to pick one. We need to pick like what's sportsmanship, what's not sportsmanship.
I still just don't. Maybe this is just because I grew up playing hockey. I mean, yeah, you line up to do handshakes all the time. That didn't mean every single player did it, and that didn't mean it was like a big enough deal to like get them out of the league or something. I think after losing,
it happens in sports all the time.
Yeah,
it is what it is.
It's not like
and
a big
I will
deal.
remind everyone.
Is it really that? But like seriously,
not,
and let us know in the comments. Hold on,
it's not.
Let us know in the comments. Is it really that big of a deal to not dab up somebody before you're about to play them? If anything, it makes the match spicier. And honestly, the fact that you lose, it gives that other team an opportunity to like talk their shit even more.
And what happened?
And that's what happened, dude. I love that Twitter. By the way, that fucking Twitter post from DRX was fucking chef's kiss, bro. Manners maketh man, bro.
But listen. But did I complain?
Even though I don't think that not dabbing somebody up is a manners thing. I think that's just
it is to them. It is to them. But at the end of the day, I didn't complain. I don't complain. Yeah. I know what the game is. We are in the entertainment industry.
Okay, so all right. So, anyways, after all this happens, you do your Scrum interview. You take accountability. You're like, yeah. I mean, you always take accountability. Yeah, we fucking suck today.
Yeah, right.
That is whatever. But you also like give praise and flowers where it's due. I didn't get to watch it fully, but we all heard and we all saw clips of Termi's after interview, and that was like very, very directed towards you. And I mean, there was a bunch of things that were brought up, but even like the Scrim sharing stuff was brought up in that interview, correct?
How? Yeah. Okay.
This wasn't even about like so. Okay, so again, we're gonna
no. We'll get to the Scrim sharing stuff later.
Yeah, no,
we'll just stay on the Termi. Yeah.
But okay. So yeah, all right. Let's start with the comments about you then, because not the Scrim sharing stuff yet.
The thing is. So here's the problem. If I say how I truly feel about it, it's only going to prolong this, and then it's going to start this culture war or this whatever the fuck, right? I will just say, how about we play like a small game here? What do you think happens if the roles were reversed? What do you think happens? Because I also want to point out, when teams are supposed to dap up after the game, Termi made it a point to not dap me up too. To go tit for tat. Now, I'm not blaming him for that. Yeah. I don't mind. But my point is...
Would you have, though?
If we're going to be high and mighty... No, I wouldn't have. But I'm honest about it.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. But if we're going to be high and mighty about turn the other cheek or be the upstanding person or have morals will dictate you still... Right? Didn't happen. And then the post-game scrum, now this is where we're at.
That's
and
where
if I'm honest about how I feel, yes,
he basically said. So for those that don't know, Termi said that you shouldn't be here. You should go back to America, and that definitely has.
That isn't the only thing he said.
Yeah, but that's the main point where there's a lot of serious undertones.
What I wanted to do, I couldn't do because this isn't the UFC. What are we inciting there? Starts with a V.
Yeah, trying to fight. Yeah.
Again, what about if I do it? I just want to know what the discourse really is. Because if I did that, this is what I'm saying. Let's play this game. What do you think happens if I do that?
So, okay, again, so timeline.
What do you think happens if I do that?
Termi said, he basically insinuated that like he wanted to fight you for not dabbing him up.
And what if I said, but I just want to know what if I said that? What do you think happens if I said that? What do you think the discourse is?
You're probably
defending me on this.
I'm not even gonna lie.
Exactly. This is what I'm saying. Now,
knowing your history,
I am not in any way expressing that I want that to be done to him. Because the truth of how I feel and what I should say publicly are going to be very different. I'm going to choose here to not actually talk about what I really think. What I will say to everyone is just apply the same logic to this counter argument. What if I was the one that had such an inflammatory post game? What would your thinking be?
Okay.
And if if it matches, I'm good with that. It doesn't matter where it is.
Okay, so I mean, I was a competitor my entire fucking career.
Sure.
I haven't had to have a beef like this happen, thank God. But I always knew, no matter how mad I got, even if I was at even if like somebody was saying the most outlandish shit to me, bro, like even like even on like fucking streaming or anything in ranked games, whatever it may be, I have never taken it so personal to the point where I felt like I needed to fight anybody in gaming. Ever. I've never even like thought that way. I think that fighting somebody over a fucking video game is ridiculous, bro.
I mean,
it's fucking ridiculous.
Okay, fair. I think
no.
What you're saying is fair.
But
I'm actually going to defend Termi on here. Actually, funny enough, because me and him aren't playing. Because I think everything is personal. It's not about the game. So now rephrase your thinking. What if it got personal between you and a player?
But
that's how you have to rephrase your thinking.
Like we're in the fucking esport, dude. Like, is it really that serious? Is it really that serious?
Well, now we're touching on a different topic.
But I'm just saying, but
mirror, bro.
Listen, bro. Right. What I'm trying to say is, like,
I get it. I understand.
Does not dabbing somebody up? I guess it was the comments you made about like, no. I guess you know what it is. It's swear words. Swear words are keywords. You know what I mean? And he probably like took it very, very personal.
What I'm hearing is, I'm the bad one. I have problems. I'm an angry whatever the fuck. But what I see is, I don't respond verbally with jabs after games and scrum interviews and stuff, right?
Hmm.
The other party is, and apparently the only thing I had to do to get him to fight me was show him up on stage. Actually. And I'm just going to point that out as I think the hypocrisy is just really crazy. Even when you go with the sportsmanship conversation, which I'm sure we're going to get to. But it's just like, if that's all it takes, I'm not really sure you can look at me in the face and say, Hector, you're not as upstanding. Because I'm actually not, optically, I did something disrespectful, yes. But I would also argue the math isn't mathing, because if you take into account everything that we discussed here and you just start putting them on the table, there's really one side that is like way, there's more on one side than it is the other. And if apparently the worst thing to do to somebody is not dap them up on stage, and it is enough to get you to that point, I'm not really sure you have the composure people think you do.
Mm-hmm.
Right? But again, I'm also not saying that I'm not petty as fuck. And what I did was great. I'm not saying that at all. I know what I did. I know why I did it.
Mm-hmm.
And I have the luxury of the context of all the things I mentioned, which, by the way, I never brought publicly because I never complained about these things publicly. I didn't go to Riot after every scrum like, yo, guys, why are you letting him say this? I didn't go to Riot when he's in the Korean VCT Pacific channel showing me up in an interview. I didn't go. I didn't say anything. I knew about all of these things because obviously people like drama, so they send you shit. But dude, I didn't. It's okay. So I'm trying to not be impartial to like our situation between me and him. I'm trying to be fair. I'm just gonna say, I think there's a lot of double standards here. A lot. And I wonder if I was the one that lost my head in that way, I wonder what would happen.
Yeah.
Right. Because in my opinion, I think I've been extremely patient. Because I don't go back and forth, even on this fucking show. Apparently this is my safe space. And even when you try to bait me into talking shit, I don't even bother. So, I don't know, man. To me, the way my brain works is, if you really wanted to actually make me look like a big doofus, you kill me with kindness. But it seems like that is impossible. So then I have to wonder, are we talking about the same person? The guy that's always on the moral high ground, the guy that is like, never makes mistakes, is calculated and intelligent, all this stuff. I don't know, man. When you look at the behavior from both sides, I don't know if that adjective or those adjectives don't apply to me. I'm not sure how it can go the other way. Again, math isn't mathing. And I think that is what I'll say about what he said. How I feel about the fighting in the America thing, I just know in my heart of hearts that if I was the one that said it, the defenders would not be defending me. I am very positive that was not going to happen.
And also, if the comments that he stated, if you were to say the exact same thing that he said in North America about like any other country, like a person from any other country, it would have some fucking serious undertones. And that just is what it is.
But I will say this.
No one's gonna argue, but no one can argue this. No one can argue this. If
Sure.
you had said what he said bar for bar about him because he was in America, I'm sorry, bro. That's not a good look by any means, brother. There is no explanation for that, bro. Not in today's culture. There's no way.
It is what it is. I just find that interesting because if I ham it up on the other side, oh man. But it's okay. Shit happens, right? Like I'm not gonna, harp on that anymore. I will just say that the double standards to me is just crazy.
To me, this whole thing of he didn't mean to say it that way argument is just like, bro.
It is what it is.
Bro, what are we talking about? Listen. And by the way, I'm not saying that he did. I'm not saying that he did or didn't, by the way. I'm not taking a side here. I'm just stating that if you fucking take the words that he said and you said those things, I mean, it is what it is what it is. You can't go back on what you said. Like, dude, bar for bar, it's not a good look. It's just not a good look, bro.
And the defending of it is coming from two places. It's because we have this whole other side of me with the Scrim League stuff, which we're going to talk about probably soon. But
this whole situation,
this is happening in unison.
Yeah.
So the same people that are really angry about the Scrim thing are now coming into this situation with the same energy. So the defending of it is really coming from that place. It's like, oh no, this guy can't win, right? Like, and I get it. And again, not making judgments on it. I am not even going to chastise Termi about it. It is what it is. I just had to say that I think the double standards to me here are crazy. In VCT Pacific, the double standards are crazy. I'll give you an example, right? So Riot isn't happy with me for a bunch of reasons that I'm going to tell you now. So there was a game where somebody did an exploit in the game. And I was pissed off because Riot said I had to be the one to catch it. I don't have the player's POV. I had to challenge a cheat being used against us. Now, technically not a cheat. I don't really know how to phrase it. Oh, sorry, an exploit. I mean, exploits mean cheat in English, but the cheating thing, given this context, is just fucked. So someone used an exploit on us.
It's like an in-game exploit.
Right. Somebody used an exploit on us, and I was told I needed to challenge it, and I'm like, what? I don't have their POV. How do I know he's going to do it? Especially because what if I'm not on the POV of the player that it happened to, right? So there was a big thing about this, or, obviously I made a big thing about this. I even went to like Comp Ops and A to like, yo, what the fuck is this? Why do because you remember the Vikings versus,
bro, hold on. By the way, there was a situation. Yeah. The camera thing, right?
The camera thing.
And
Riot didn't catch it. And it's like, bro, imagine if the players can't catch that. Like, I don't have their POV. I don't know if he's using the cam glitch. And here, how am I have to be on the specific player at the specific time. This is, to me, an argument with the rule. The rule was that I had to challenge that. But it's like, I had to be looking at Cruz, and I wasn't. Because I had to know what was going to happen in the future in order to fucking be looking at Cruz, because the most important area of the map for me was somewhere else. So we had to basically, that's why you have challenges.
Mhm.
What I find weird is, guess what happens? VCT right after the match, right?
Mhm.
Right after the match, they have a highlight. You know what's on the highlight? Using the exploit. So that tells me that someone back there had the video and knew what happened, but the admins didn't call it. This is why I was pissed, right? So it got chippy, right? And why did it get chippy? Because we just had an exploit happen to us, and nothing. And like, what if that like swings the game? What, they're not going to revert the win loss after the game, right? So it's just a fucking mess. Okay, then let's go to the next one. The next one was, I'm going to ask you something, and I don't know if you know, and I don't want to put you on the spot, but in NA, during map vetoes, is there a time limit?
I have no idea, actually.
Okay, well, there was a time limit last year. Apparently, there's no time limit this year. So a team in vetoes, let's say, takes a really long time. I'm talking like upwards a minute, which is weird to me because you're not supposed to have that much time to think about vetoes, right? So I make a mistake, I make a mistake. I got pissed off, and I was like, dude, what is this? Well, there's no time limit. What the fuck you mean there's no time limit? There's no time limit in the rules. What? So then I go, I don't want to say the person's name because I haven't cleared it with them, but I go to like someone in the like VCT Pacific, the control room, because it's right next there. And I'm like, bro, what the hell is this? What do you mean there's no? So I'm like arguing with him about the rules literally during the veto, right? So afterwards, he said, hey, look, we just confirmed that it wasn't in the rules, blah, blah, blah. He came to our room. And then he said to me, he's like, hey, but listen, like, I don't think the way you went in there was, you know, blah, 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 cool, basically, right? I apologized to him. And then you know what I did the very next time? I went to the control room in front of all the same people that saw me get mad at this guy. I apologized to him in front of all of them. And the reason I bring this up is because, and then people want to look at me and like, bro, you have no manners and no sportsmanship. And you know me, I'm the first one that I will apologize if I fuck up. I have no problem. The reason why shit has gotten this far and why I think Riot is obviously a little bit upset is because they are going, this guy, evil, bad, conveniently leaving out all of the instances of stuff. Me, I have never complained once. I haven't complained about the memes, the trash talk, the Korean VCT thing, like being a verbal pinata for them. I don't care. It is what it is. Charge it to the game, right? If I don't like it, what's my motto? If I don't like people talking shit, just win. What the fuck are you going to say when I win? Nothing. And if you do, unlucky for you. I still win. So the double standards here, I think, are pretty crazy. Because I'm not complaining about any of the things that have been done to me. But all of a sudden, I don't want to give you a fist bump because you've been showing me some energy and I'm reciprocating the energy, and it becomes such a big problem that you're breaking rules. And what I think is weird is if you want to talk about sportsmanship and like player conduct, I'm not sure making scrum interviews about another person specifically this consistently should fall under sportsmanship. It should probably fall under the lack of. So I would just like to know where the bar is. Because as far as I'm concerned, I'm just matching energy that is being consistently shown. And I'm also not complaining about it when Riot, VCT Pacific, embrace it, meme it, put it on their socials for the engagement. I'm not calling a faux pas now. I'm not going, yo, take that shit down. What the fuck? You're embarrassing me. Nope. It's, if I don't like it, I got to win. So if it's bad, why are we promoting the bad? If it's a punishable offense, why are we highlighting the punishable offenses? That's what I'm consistently confused about. Like, tell me what the rules are, and then we know how to play the game.
Yeah. It's crazy. It's crazy, bro. It's so
to me, it's not that deep, bro. It's not that deep.
I know.
It's not. It is what it is. Congratulations on DRX on winning.
That's
good shit.
I mean, that's what I was saying. I was like,
I'm trash.
Is it really that bad to not?
No, I don't
up?
think so.
I just feel like you should have the option to not want to dab up or whatever. Like, you shouldn't be forced to have to.
I just think people aren't using deductive reasoning, right?
Yeah.
Because they're not. Well, in fairness,
I don't know, bro. But if I'm a coach and if I'm a coach or if I'm a player and the other player doesn't dab me up, I'm not gonna fucking sit there after the fucking game and be like, "You didn't dab me up. He should be punished for it." It's just like, to me, like, that's just like so weird. But also, like,
I mean, I think it was the whole show of it. Actually, it's not just the dabbing. I think it's the whole show of it. Like that he probably feel like. I mean, I think in some sense I can rationalize with this that I think being what he perceives to be embarrassed.
I think he got embarrassed from it, but he didn't even look like
right. Yeah,
but it didn't even look like an embarrassing moment for him, though.
No, but the stranger thing is, if he's so embarrassed about that, then why the hell are we talking about other people so much consistently, man? Like, pick one. I don't know. Like, how am I not embarrassed about all the times the timeouts during the game? That I got to teach this guy a lesson. Pick one.
Oh
bro.
yeah. So yeah,
just pick one.
He used a timeout
I don't
when
care
he was
what
up,
it is.
What was he up?
Yes,
12-1 or something.
I don't care what the rules are. Just tell me how to play them. Everything I've seen is, there's smoke. Like, we got problems.
That's pretty lit, bro.
So I'm like, okay, we got problems. I'm not going to dap up, like, fuck the pleasantries with someone that you have problems with in this way. Just compete to the victor goes the spoils. That's it.
Yeah.
So I'm fascinated
it's
by
not that serious.
But it was made serious by them. And I'm fascinated by that because of what I said. It's just very strange to me, the double standards that exist. Because if I'm unsportsmanlike, then what is the behavior that has been exhibited on the other side? Is it sportsmanlike? Right? With his scrum and the past scrums? I don't know. And I don't want to be the judge of that, right? Society, I mean, it seems like the internet was, in a stir for this. I don't want to be the judge of that. Just tell me what rules to play by, bro, and then play by them yourself. And then I know how to respond in kind. But if it's disrespect, then don't expect handshakes. Come on, bro. Like, at least in my opinion, at least do me the common courtesy of going, there's beef, we got problems, let's just do everything we can to just, like, not fake it.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Because that's what that was. And I will say, to his benefit, actually, what has been expressed to me afterwards is that he's doing what he thinks he has to do. It's not what he wants to do. So he probably has the same impulse as me to do the same thing. But he was probably in a state of mind of, like, I must do this, for, like, himself, his team, for everybody else. And I technically broke that code by going, well, I feel like I must not do this. Right? So to him, and again, I can rationalize that and understand what the thinking is. However, I just feel like, again, where we're from, you don't, like, when you do all the extracurricular stuff, the pleasantries just aren't exchanged.
I mean, to me, like, personally, like I said, like, I've never really had a fucking beef like that in gaming. And even if I did, I probably wouldn't give a fuck. I'd probably just do, like, the half-hearted dab up or whatever.
And that's what I did. Okay, thank you. And that's what I did the first time. Yeah. And it started this cascade of post-game scrums with Termi going, this guy, fuck this guy, this. And I'm just like, bro, what am I supposed to do, bro? It happened in real life with people watching. And now you're mad that I do the same thing to you with people watching, except I did it with more people watching. Unlucky, bro.
I wonder.
Pick one, guys. Pick one.
I wonder.
Please.
I wonder what would have happened if you actually did dap him up. I wonder if the beef would have been squashed, bro. Is that all that it needs? Is that all that it needs? Just a dab up?
I mean, maybe. Maybe. I don't know. I'm not even going to try to pretend as if that's like, I have no idea. Like, and if the notion is like, oh, heck, you should have just dabbed them up. It's like, yeah, that's a fair point.
I was seeing, I was seeing some, I was watching an interview of him basically saying that he, like, didn't know where the beef came from. And I truly do wonder if that is the case, if he actually doesn't know. At least at first, I mean, not right to this, not like present day. I just wonder if, like, if he really didn't understand why the first time.
Okay.
Because either way, like, we're here either way.
I understand. No, listen,
like, he definitely should know that, like, he might not do it.
Brother, even if, who cares?
I don't know.
Nobody knows about that. What is the first thing they saw? First thing they saw was me giving a half dap like you saw, like a half-hearted, like, I don't even want to fucking touch you, bro, right?
Yeah.
What was his response? So to me, it's all about the response. What is the response? Because to me, if you are as high and mighty and upstanding as everyone seems to say you are, you should have just taken the high road from the beginning and be like, I don't know what that was. I don't appreciate it. I'm going to move on. And that's it.
This whole
that's not what it was.
Is just so funny.
It's not what it was.
It's honestly pretty funny, and it's really good entertainment. It's really good entertainment.
Well, that, again,
it's
going
very
back to
good
the tweet,
entertainment.
it's just like, yeah, like.
Because, bro, I'm going to be honest, bro. If I thought somebody had a problem with me, I would actually probably just write them a message and be like, yo, what was that? What was that?
Here's the thing. And this is where I think the distinction has to be placed. We don't technically speak the same language. So there are barriers there. There are natural barriers there.
Yeah. This might be actually like one of the stupidest fucking things.
This is why I started this shit by saying this is so fucking dumb, bro.
I don't think anybody
doesn't make any sense.
I don't think anybody should be getting punished for anything on either side, bro.
Well, forget the punishment. The thing that I find weird is I don't know why we're getting our panties in a bunch when it's clear that we both have problems. Right? Like, how are you upset with me?
It's not like a one-sided thing. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
It's
like,
not one-sided.
hello?
It takes two to tango.
This is what's so weird. It's like, man.
It takes two to tango.
And that's a double standard I think that exists. It's like, how are you surprised that this happens when, given all the stuff you've done, you know what you've said? And the amount of things you've said. I'm just confused by that more than anything. To go to Riot and be like, hey, man, blah, blah, blah. It's like, wait, what? Huh? But unlucky. I digress. Shall we talk about the thing that really is the funniest part of all of this?
Let's get into the funniest part about everything is that like all these teams are coming out talking about scrim sharing when this had nothing to do with scrim sharing at all. And you actually deaded the scrim sharing thing last year. You haven't really been talking about much, and you make funny comments. But I just want to say one thing. Let's not act like scrim sharing isn't a fucking thing, okay? Like this is a fucking thing. It's honestly like even if it's in the rule book, I think there should be a rule about it personally. Not that my fucking opinion matters at all. I'm not a fucking player or a coach, but obviously I think that there should be something in the rule book if you have like concrete evidence. But let's just say it how it is, bro. It's hard like to get concrete evidence of scrim sharing, bro, because I mean it could just be like Hold on. Have to be VODs.
But what if you have it? What if you have it?
Well, that's why I said
concrete evidence.
If you do that, that's why I said there should be something in the rule book if you have concrete evidence.
And that has been my argument from the beginning.
But let's not act like they're like people aren't friends and etc. And this isn't just, by the way, this isn't a fucking Korean thing. This has happened in every single game ever. This happens in sports. This is a fucking thing that like players talk is what I used to say. Players talk. So what we used to do on FaZe, and I've already said this before, we would realize, okay, the most important rounds of a team having your VODs, the most important thing is like if they have your pistol round, and your bonus, in my opinion. Pistol round bonus, like the first set of rounds is what I deem to be the most important in a game like Valorant, just because of how snowbally the game is, right? We noticed that we just seemed to be losing a bunch of fucking pistol rounds, and it just felt like the other team, like they just fucking had the perfect setup for us. What we started doing was we started practicing 2 weeks or 3 weeks ahead of time. So we would be practicing pistols the week of our match that we're going to be using in 2 weeks. You know what I'm saying? We started winning. We started winning more pistols. Now, I mean, listen, bro. Okay, you could say that maybe it's just like placebo or whatever the fuck. And maybe it was a coincidence. Could have been a coincidence, but I know what the fuck goes on. You got to be careful with scrimming certain teams. Everybody knows this. That happens in every region. It happens in every region. There's friends that are on two separate teams that you're about to play against. You don't scrim that team for the fucking week because you know that one of those players on the team that you're about to play has a friend that you might scrim against. You don't do that. You know what I'm saying? Shit happens, bro. This shit happens. Why would it not happen? There's no rule against it. Also, even with the rule against it,
problem.
But here's the thing. Even with the rule against it, it's still gonna happen. It doesn't matter. It'll still happen.
Right. But what you need is a strong enough deterrent that people know, similar to the iBuyPower thing. You match fix, you're gonna get screwed. You're going to get messed up. And that's
there should definitely be something in there.
Right. And that's what I've been fighting for myself by myself, actually.
I don't think anybody would argue otherwise, though. I don't think a single person competitively would sit there. And even fans, I don't think that they would sit there and be like,
but that's not actually
we shouldn't have that rule.
But that's not what's being said. But anyways, what I'll just say is I agree, and that's what I have tried to do. So, you want to talk about the very beginning of this?
Yeah, let's.
I'm about to blow your mind with something. You're gonna laugh so hard when you hear this.
Let's get into the scrim sharing.
I'm gonna go forward and backwards, but okay. So let's start with this. I tried to put up a coalition, and DRX was included. DRX talked to somebody very high up in DRX, and I had another organization in VCT. We seem to all have the same problems with this. I try to get a coalition to get all of us to come, gather our resources and our evidence, push it forward to Riot. I will just say that DRX was gracious enough to give us some insights on what has happened to them and which teams, by the way, I will just say this honestly, they said Korean teams. That's why we don't scrim Korean teams, right? This is an important part of this story, not just because of Termi, because it's something that's going to happen in an after party later. That, again, I never made public at all. Nobody wanted anything to do with it. So guess who's the only one now that is bitching and arguing about this stuff? It's me. And this is what has happened in the same timeline with Termi. So it looks like this, so he's obviously using the steam and momentum of what's going on with us in conjunction with what's happening with the negative, Hector's targeting Koreans with the Scrim League. So I'll just say we have evidence of something, right? This is what everyone says. Throw it out, throw it out, throw it out. Show the evidence. Okay, let's play a little game, bro. What do you think happens if I show? Let's everyone assume I'm correct. What do you think happens the moment that I release the evidence? What happens? You don't have to say a team name or a person, but what happens to you? What happens if I have evidence on you? What would have happened to FaZe? Let's just go with the FaZe route.
I mean, the community would probably just, turn around, ruin our fucking lives, ruin our careers.
Right. And then what do you think happens competitively with other regions now that they know America has this problem? And you in particular have this problem.
Probably just never scrim.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if I were to have just, I don't know, for the ego, for the whatever, just gone out randomly and just did this, it's going to turn into, by the way, a similar situation. I keep mentioning the iBuyPower thing because I was around in CSGO when this happened. We were making majors in CS when this was happening. And I saw the ramifications and the repercussions of a journalist and a player coming out and exposing a match-fixing network. And I saw how deep the layers went, from Valve to sponsors to tournaments to everything.
So yeah, those players got banned for a long time,
right,
man. I think didn't they just recently get them banned?
And by the way, I just want to point out, yes, that's true, but I want to point out, guess what? There was never a fucking rule about match fixing. I'm dumb. Yes, match fixing being illegal. I just want to point that out for everyone in here right now. So now that we have that, most of the people that were critical, especially online, most of them, they weren't even in esports. Since Valorant is so young, I'm not even sure any of them were in their teens yet. The same people commenting about this. So I'm acutely aware of, okay, what I have is technically plutonium. And what if I ruin the life of someone or a group or a team or whatever when it technically isn't a rule? Because immediately, what did I do? I started looking at the rule book and I started realizing, wait, what the fuck?
There's no rule about this in here.
And I'm just like, what are we talking about?
The only thing you've been trying to accomplish with what you've been
we'll talk about that in a second,
stuff that you've said has just been trying to get that rule into place,
right? Because yes,
and also it is also just like I said, I think that this is so unavoidable. It's gonna happen no matter what, bro. Even if there's a rule,
right? But even if you can't have it so organized.
So easy.
No. It's organized. This is what I'm saying. Like, I know it is organized, and that is probably the extent of what I can say. And that, to me, that's the problem.
We do have to talk about the screenshot that Fade
organized.
posted, because I mean,
that's
a real thing, right?
I'm not going there, but see, that stuff is personal. I'm not even trying to police that. I'm trying to really police collaborations amongst teams.
But that's what it was, because that guy was like, "Hey, like,
I know, no, I know, but
you give us this VOD of this team.
That is what I'm trying. This is what I'm trying to stop.
Yeah,
because I think that shit is fucking dangerous. If it's like, yo, baby bay, your boys with like X player and like you guys do this on the low. That's just you guys. That's not the organization.
What comp did they run? Yeah,
right. From my perspective, I have a feeling that this is cheating, but I know that technically, for the rule of the law, it isn't. Like, by the letter of the like player handbooks and shit, it's not. So I go to Riot. Supposed to have dinner with somebody at Riot. I get blown off. They send me somebody else. The somebody else says, I'm not really sure we're going to do anything about it because, it's opening up a can of worms and all that stuff. And another thing people got to think about is, if I released it, guess what happens to the organization? And then we're talking about VCT, and people and fans are going to do this, and people and fans are going to do that. And let's have a real conversation about, if I released it, back to the FaZe example, right? This whole anti-Korean sentiment is weird, given the fact that technically I'm protecting this anti-Korean sentiment, because if I released it, that might be what happens. Anti-Korean sentiment. I am just trying to let them know that I know that we have a fucking problem, and to chill the fuck out. Because I'm trying to go through the correct channels in the process, because I'll fast forward a little bit to champs. So I get the person that blew me off in the meeting, and I showed them all the evidence and had a conversation with them about how deep it went. And this person's response was, it is going to be a priority in the offseason. It's probably one of the first things we need to add to the, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
Right. And then it doesn't happen. I get the rule book this year, and yes, they have a new section for it. It's like a small thing, but it doesn't really do it. It's like not even. Like, to me, we need real deterrence, especially if people are working together and this is like a systematic approach to this. Certainly, there needs to be, like, heads need to roll, right?
And again, this is not just a Korean team thing. This is this should be for everybody.
Any team that's doing this shit.
Yeah.
Fuck you. However, like, small
it does
example,
suck though as a player.
Yeah.
Like the other team having your VODs. Like, it's
trust me, I know.
You feel cheated in a way.
I'm gonna skip a few steps, but let's talk about now why this is really funny. Right? Because part of the anti-Korean sentiment I received was Korean players are really pissed off because of the insinuation that a Korean team is doing this. Now, technically, I haven't talked at all about the player, the coaches, the organization. I haven't really said anything. I've just said that it is a part of a network and a crew, which, by the way, DRX confirmed for me in that call that we had, what I discussed already, when I try to put a coalition together to stop this shit. Because they were the ones that enlightened me on the fact that they don't scrim Korean teams for this reason. And this is a part of this big story. This goes back to the double standards and this sort of like, this shit to me is just mind-blowing how people act like this and react like this. And it's just like crazy to me. Because it seems like everyone knows that this is the case, but no one wants to do anything about it or fix it. And they know that they don't scrim, let's say, each other, right? The Korean team specifically don't scrim each other. And why was the whole Korean thing important? Because there's one Thai team, one Indo team, but there's 3 Korean teams in the league and a 4th one this year. So the Korean teams had the most teams in the league. So a problem like this is exacerbated even more simply because of the numbers of the teams that fit the description. But what I got was Hector hates Koreans, when in reality, Hector's protecting Koreans. Actually, because if I do this the wrong way, everyone gets fucked by the perception of cheating. Instead of, if you do it the right way, you just target who and why and how. Because it's not as simple The evidence isn't as simple as this team is the only one that did it because of something else that has happened or happens or was discussed or any of this. And because I have the luxury of that information, I try to share that information already to no avail. Right? So this person that said whatever he said about me, which you saw, at an after party, this is another reason why this was confirmed. At an after party, I confront him and say, hey, listen, by the way, in front of a lot of Valorant people, I'm talking coaches, players, I'm talking everybody. So I go to this person and say, hey, listen, you said this about me. Why? And the rhetoric was, because you keep saying this about Koreans. Okay, but what is what I'm saying true? What? That scrim sharings happen amongst a particular demographic. A lot. You want to know his response? Yes. In front of many people. So in public, against anti-Hector sentiments, it's no one does this shit, fuck you. But in private, they're all like, yes, we know what happens. It sucks. You got to be smart about it. We don't scrim certain teams because of this problem. And this is where the inconsistency comes
It's like that for every region. You know what I mean? It's like you ask anybody from EMEA, EMEA is going to be like, yeah, Europeans are scrim sharing.
I understand.
NA is going to be like, yo, North American players are scrim sharing. You know what I mean?
Listen,
like, it just happens, bro.
I'm not making an argument that there is one demographic that is the only one that doesn't. Mm-hmm. I'm only making the argument that everyone here knows this is a problem. And to me, what I think is so crazy about all of this is, if we all know this shit happens, why the fuck are we not in unison? Because you said everybody would agree with this, but they're not. Because the moment I say I have proof, why the fuck isn't the teams that feel like they've been slighted by this going, what's your proof? If it's good enough, we'll go to Riot with you. Let's do this. That is not what's happening. That's actually the exact opposite of what the fuck is happening. And to me, it's driving me crazy because I'm just like, guys, don't we not want the competitive integrity here? Like, isn't that what the fuck we're doing? Like, and let's also talk about the reason why this is so important. We play 11 games a year, basically.
Yeah.
Every fucking game. I have brought this up on the show so many fucking times. Why the fuck are the people that are angry that it's happening to them not in support? As a matter of fact, since this is not a shot to Termi, I'm not even bringing him up for that reason. But in an attempt to shit on me in his press release, you know what he admits? Termi says, and I quote, it has happened to him. He's been a victim of it. When you use the word victimized, that's a very strong, passionate statement, right? You know what's interesting? When I had this problem at LCQ 2021, 2022, 2021, with the story you know, which I've talked about on SpikeTalk, and I'm not about to do that bullshit now again because that's going to just fucking make this show go even longer, which I do not want. If someone were to have said, yo, I have cheating evidence, you know what my first call would have been? Bro, I do too. This shit happened to me. Because certainly Termi is not accusing people of cheating but not having evidence then, right? Certainly no one is going to be like, certainly people are going to be like, hey, Termi, where's the proof? You were victimized of this, right? Continue double standards. Because I have no problem with what he said. Punish FrosT if he's lying and he's bullshitting. I got no fucking problem with that. He's absolutely right. Because if someone is going to come here, start all this drama, create all this bullshit for no fucking reason, the person is absolutely fucking crazy. Which also is something that Termi called me, which is ironic because actually he just defended me. Termi just said, in and of itself, that this shit does happen here. It happened to me. And I'm only pointing out, yo, we need to stop this shit. And by the way, last point I'll say about that, right? What I said to Riot at Champs, and I'm going to say it to everybody here. The reason why I don't want the people that I have proof on to get in trouble is because I think making an example out of I buy power again, ratting, and making an example of this and ruining someone's life or ruining the reputation of an entire fucking region is not my intent. I'd rather all of us with evidence, and even the culprits that are doing it, I'd rather us all go, here's how we do it, here's the situation, here's the blah, 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 blah. Everyone with, obviously anonymity, because obviously you don't need to have all of us in a room with Riot to do this. But if every team has its discussion and actually is, I don't know how you're going to be rewarded for this. Like if this was a governmental issue, people would get money. I'm not even saying like put a bounty on it, but I'm just saying if everyone came forward and actually told the truth, provided the proof and did all this stuff, Riot now has every single thing they need to potentially put enough safeguards now because they know how it's done. Because if you think about whistleblowing and all that stuff, the way to fix loopholes is actually finding out how the fuck people are using them in the first place. Just ask any programmer. Well, technically, right? Like to bypass certain, gamers will just use hacks, right? You need to find where the weakness is. What's being exploited and how. Once you do that, it's then easy to fix it. Especially, and this is the most important part, since it wasn't in the rule book. And I watched people lose careers and jobs doing something that is morally incorrect. I believed it was morally incorrect, but it wasn't against a fucking rule anywhere. And I saw how it hurt NA Counter-Strike for 5 years after that. And because I have the experience to know that, the anti-Korean person is actually not trying to fuck over Koreans. Actually. And I'm not baited. Show the fucking tapes. Show the fucking tapes. Show the fucking proof. Because I'm not insecure. Just like I don't respond, after every Scrum interview that somebody says something stupid about me. It is what it is. Because I know the most important thing is to actually fix the fucking problem in the first place. And you don't do that by making enemies all the time, which you could argue, Hector, that's what you did. Yeah, well, unlucky. Maybe I didn't do it as perfectly as in my head I thought I was. But I at least try to put my best foot forward by trying to figure out a way that I can both entice other people to come to me, since I already try to go to them, and get enough people riled up that Riot takes a serious and deep look at this shit. Now, if the thing that comes out of what happened with me and Termi is this, if this gets solved, like, for instance, you want to know what my mentality was when I saw his press release? Everybody was probably like, yo, he went to Riot, Hector should get in trouble, all this bullshit. My immediate thought was, wait, did me and Termi just become best friends? Because I had no idea that he actually was sitting on this too. Because again, I will make this a point. If he is everything everyone says he is, there's no way he's saying he was victimized by something that he doesn't have proof of. Correct? Because then, now a lot of arguments start unraveling here about me. So I'm taking him at his word, just like I am standing on business going, bitch, I've had proof forever. You know how crazy it would be to message anyone at Riot and go, yo, the proof was already in your inbox if you don't have anything? like it's almost like I think people have this assumption of me, which I think is ironic because on one end, people that know me and say this publicly, that Hector really doesn't lie. Like, he's actually going to tell you the truth. And yet on the other side, I'm just conveniently lying against an entire...
You're a very blunt person. I will say that. You're very blunt. So like, you don't sugarcoat anything.
Right. And I respect people coming out and being like, yo, this is inflammatory. This is some bullshit. Like, all that's happening is I'm getting shit on for this and I'm not doing shit. I respect that. My bad. However, here's what I don't respect. If you don't like it as much as you say you don't like it, then why the fuck didn't you help me last year fix this? Especially now that I found out that Termi feels how he felt because it happened to him. Despite all the drama, I am more than willing to go, yo, Termi, let's share notes. Let's do this thing. Because that is more important than whatever the fuck is going on. Right? The same thing with like Munchkin and Texture. Bro, if everyone feels this way about me, if we're as honorable, if you guys are as honorable as you say you are, then why are you not with me on this? If we're trying to clear all of our names, let's do this. Let's make us think of this continuously until something is done about this. Because in as you so eloquently put it, Baby Bay, if there is concrete evidence about this, heads should roll. Yeah. However, I'm going to remind everybody, particularly to what I have, I don't want heads to roll because I went through what I went through in CS. I just want this to stop now and forever so that everyone else has peace of mind.
It's never going to stop, though. You know that, right? Like, it
No.
can't ever stop. Like,
No.
there's no way to make it
Absolutely
stop.
correct.
I think...
Absolutely correct. But hold on. Why do we have laws? Why do we have rules?
No, for sure that I
We
think
need
that
preventative
it should
measures
be
to
added
make-
in, for sure.
My argument has always been, the reason why you need tough enforcement of this, and I mean really tough, it's not to stop it from happening. It's to deter people on the fence from contributing.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yeah.
And, by the way, if everyone is in unison about this, they will ultimately see my evidence anyway. And then they'll realize I'm not some fucking asshole. But the reason I'm so passionate about it is because I just found out this shit was this blatant. Like, hello. Now, back to your point about fade and all that stuff. I just want to point out that though I appreciate, I guess, the help,
yeah,
which is so funny that, yeah, it sucks that the narrative, and I think we can end on this. I never actually said anything about anybody. Everyone is saying shit about me. Also, not complaining about it. It is what it is. Par for course, right? I do appreciate some people trying to come to my defense, but in reality, I will say I do think a lot of it made it worse because then it just created this divisive battle, which technically I didn't actually try to incite anyway. Because not only did I not say anything, as I already now have proven,
you haven't talked about screen sharing at all this year. I don't feel
I have deliberately, because it's not fucking illegal still, bro. So then what the fuck? Everyone was like, man, why are you dapping up like all the Korean guys now? Why, like, how did you become friends with them all of a sudden? It's like, well, technically, last year, the reason why shit was so emotional was because all they were doing was just talking shit about me, right? Even though I know I'm trying to help them actually fight this thing. So my energy was way different. This year, it's fucking illegal. Who gives a fuck now? I don't give a fuck now. That's what happened. What happened was I just quit. I just focused on what I was focused on. And as you know, did my best to try to alleviate the issue. Like, you know, try to make sure we don't get scrim cheated on and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And I gave this shit up. So for this shit to pop up now, to me, is fucking hilarious. Because all of y'all beat me into submission anyway. Nobody gives a fuck about this thing. Which to me should be, again, I'm going to repeat this. I think this should be the number one thing that every single fucking player and coach is standing on. And no one is.
I think
I'm mind blown.
I'm about to post this screenshot of what I don't know how to pronounce his name. Yautsen?
Hmm?
I think this is like just a big summary of what everybody thinks about scrim sharing, like in terms of like being a coach, being a player. It's that we all know this stuff happens. It's a huge problem, but we've all accepted it, like you said.
Yeah.
Right.
And all I'm saying is
you kind of have to maneuver around that.
Right. No matter what happens, we're never going to prevent this from happening 100%. I know that. I understand. I do. But we should have a deterrent so that tier 2 teams don't participate in this, which is a lot of what's happening. And other, you know, like there should be a safeguard for it. If someone has a smoking gun, which has been my biggest argument from the beginning. And again, I will bring up, let's go I Buy Power. I Buy Power was broken. The story was broken because a reporter got with a player and the player told everyone told the reporter what happened. And the reporter went to the developer and then released the story and told everyone what happened. So if something like that were to happen, right, Riot should have already for everyone to see what the penalty is. Because I just want to point out, if it's a weak penalty, what does it do? It encourages people to do it. And if you lose out, unlucky. But what happened to the Counter-Strike guys was they thought, oh, slap on the wrist. All of a sudden, their lives were changed. Mm-hmm. There's a very specific reason why I thought the way that the thing should be done should be like this. Now, I might have been stupid in my thinking. Sure. And I have to own up to that one. In reality, though, I don't think I was. I actually think that every step I took was the right way to handle this. It just so happens that people, for some reason, thought it was a good idea to criticize and talk shit publicly rather than go to Talon and go, yo, if this evidence is credible, let's work together on it because this is a big fucking deal. And no one did that. All the adults in the room conveniently decided not to do this, especially people who were victimized by this, which I think is the grand irony of this whole spectacle is that in the pursuit of trying to make me look foolish, my entire last year was technically vindicated by the same guy that says I'm an asshole, which I think is like, but thank you, actually.
This all sounds like a Black Mirror episode, bro.
Bro, this is, I have to tell you, I cannot believe.
Oh, shit.
I cannot believe both the reactions.
You just play some fucking video games, man.
That was exactly my point. And yes, this will actually be the last thing I say because I actually already said this and all of you saw it. Fuck the pleasantries, bro. Let's just fucking play. Yes. Yeah.
you not dabbing up fucking Termi created a fucking shitstorm, bro, of way deep.
It's the domino meme, where it's like on one end,
shit.
Hector not dabbing up Termi, on the other end, Riot finally implements
shit.
And the thing I find funny though is I'm criticized a lot for this, and I'm not trying to poo-poo anything, and I'm definitely not trying to like I don't need taps on the back for this shit. I really don't. But people don't realize the amount of fighting I did with Riot, right? So it started with timeouts. Back then in First Strike, you had one timeout for the entire game, including overtimes. Me and my lawyer actually drafted up a fucking reason why. We actually used statistics. Like I literally went over the amount of permutations in a round and why players that this young can't handle it all and need more than one timeout. Past that, everyone knows what happened with me and Josie, which is basically rule changes in the middle of a tournament without actually showing it and then lying about it and then being exposed for it, right? Fast forward all the things. I'm not going to keep going about every little bit.
Yeah.
But it's just weird.
There's a lot of stuff that's built up.
But it's just weird to me that for as much heat and criticism as I get, I seem to be the only guy actually fighting for Valorant. Actually. Because most of this discourse is really about how to do the right thing in response to this allegation and Scrim thing.
Yeah, you truly care about the game.
So it's just fucking weird to me.
I just think that
what the discourse is.
I just think that people get complacent with things and like just forget that things could be better. You know what I mean?
I mean that's fair. No. Here's what I think it is.
When things hit like a good spot, it's like, oh, like we're good.
Here's what I think it is.
You know?
And I know this sounds like a shot, and I guess it is, but I don't mean it to be that way, and I'm sorry if it comes off that way, but it just is the fucking truth. It's the problem is everybody doesn't give a fuck unless it happens to them. Well, and what I find even crazier
that is true though, because when you have like solid evidence of a team like anteing you, like it's like, oh fuck, bro.
Right. But my problem is
like, oh shit.
Don't talk to me about sportsmanship or upstanding citizen or any of this nonsense if you see something bad happening to somebody else and you don't do shit. That's what I thought is the weirdest thing about that press release. Because I'm sitting there standing in the open like, yo, what the fuck is this? And apparently other motherfuckers knew this shit was happening.
And you're talking about last year again.
Yes.
He's talking about last year when he realized how.
And I wouldn't have ever known.
Were you that shocked? Like, be honest though. Were you that shocked that there was like Scrim sharing? Like, be honest though.
No, well,
like,
no.
Obviously,
no. I wasn't shocked about the Scrim sharing. Why I'm so shocked is if Riot saw it's organized. That's what I mean.
So you were shocked at how organized it was. So
yes. It's not like, yo, baby bae, I'm playing this team, hit me up, yo. I know I'm never going to stop that. I get it. I'm talking about actually partnerships, which I will say this, luckily for Fade, or not luckily for Fade, sorry. Luckily for me, even though it created this downward spiral with DRX and everybody getting pissed off at me or whatever, even though I didn't actually say, I haven't said anything.
Excuse me.
He's showing you how organized this can be. I'm just saying that this level of participation, man, I just don't think that's cool. But I will say
there must be some crazy level of fucking Scrim sharing over there, bro. Must be some crazy work happening.
I mean, the problem is, the reason I'm so fucking vague about it is because now I have to start talking and insinuating what I mean and sort of like how deep it goes. And this is the fucking problem. And I get why players like Munchkin and Texture are pissed at me. I understand. I do. But Munchkin, unfortunately, doesn't have the experience of, like, he's an Overwatch vet. And I'm talking like one of the GOATs.
Yeah, I know.
But Overwatch didn't have what happened in CS.
Well, first of all,
so he doesn't know about the correlation of like, man, I've seen this go wrong, and if I don't do it the right way, it's bad for everyone.
But also in Overwatch, if you even had somebody's VOD, it's like, dude, everybody already knew how to fucking play the game. There wasn't like anteing in Overwatch, bro.
No. Fair point. The game is different.
It wasn't a thing.
But I think you're making my point in the argument that
it matters
I understand
a lot
why he feels the way that he feels.
The reason why it matters so much in this game specifically, and obviously this probably happens, and it's probably very organized in CS as well. I can only imagine because CS has been around for way longer. The difference is that you guys, like VCT teams only get 11 matches a year, right? I think that's the main thing. Is that
and that is the most despicable part of it all.
It's fucking hard, bro. One match can make or break if you how your season goes.
And we know how hard this job is. We know how much goes into every match because I know lives were changed. For instance, I already lost a job because I didn't win a match I was supposed to win. Made it to a finals. I mean, me and you have talked about this.
Yeah.
Again, I'm not gonna. I already know what the fuck it's like. So, and I see players, and there's a finite amount of these things. Everybody just wants to know that their best wasn't good enough. But if you ever think, or if you find out, you know how heartbreaking it is to find out, because I found out a year and a half later. I didn't have the proof until a year and a half later.
That's usually how it is, though.
Right.
Yeah, that's usually how it is. Like
I'm trying to stop this as early as
somebody
possible.
that was like on the team that you played against, like
brother,
like 4
that
years
shit
down the line.
is crazy, bro. And I'm just
Yeah.
trying to make sure this shit doesn't happen again. And I'm trying to make sure that, at least there are enough. There is at least enough deterrent that it might dissuade some people from doing it. But we should talk about competitive environments because I think everyone needs to take a step back and think about what do we want out of Valorant or VCT. If we like the drama, that's one thing. Then we can't complain about dramatic things happening. If we don't like the drama and like to be prim and proper, then we should not be promoting the things that we think are incorrect. The one thing I learned about this whole
also these two situations should be kept completely separate, by the way.
Right. And because I hamstrung myself by, as you now know, trying to do it the right, or what I thought was the right way, I just never expected what I had to not be good enough because I think I'm a smart enough person to feel like if I say I have a smoking gun, I feel like people should believe me. Because it isn't like I'm just someone that just lies. And everyone that has said something about me seems to be pretty consistent with the fact that whether you like me or not, I'm brutally honest or very blunt. In a good way, bad way, whatever. So I'm confused why it seems like this is a fucking joke. Actually. Because it isn't. And I'm not treating it as one.
So everything you were just talking about is the reason why we made SpikeTalk in the first place. I mean, for those that don't know, we wanted to give everybody an inside view of what it's like to be a pro, what it's like to be a coach actively in an esport. There's a lot that goes into it that's not just all playing the game or like creating strategies and shit. There's a lot of shit behind the scenes that factor into what it's like to be in this type of environment, bro. And you know what, dude? Like, it's like we said, it happens in sports too. It happens in sports.
Yeah.
The thing is everything else has been around for longer, so there are more. I don't want to call them protocols, but there's a lot more things in effect to kind of like try to stop it. People are gonna find a way no matter what, and everybody knows that.
I understand.
Everyone's accepted that. I think that, like, again, the only thing that you're actually trying to fight for is just like some more distinct ruling on the matter
and a very harsh punishment if you get caught.
But
doing
again, you weren't even talking about this shit at all. It just happened to pop up because you didn't fist bump Termi, and I feel like even Termi took it personal even Termi thought that you did that because it was the scrim sharing shit. It had nothing to fucking do with that at all.
Which is insane work because if I mean, listen, I know for a fact that DRX was listening to my scrum. I'm just going to point that out. I don't know why the message didn't get translated because I don't understand. So it just makes this whole thing nonsensical, right? Because I never actually said anything about anyone, and I don't even talk about the scrim sharing shit anymore because I know it's fucking legal. And it pisses me off that it's legal, but it's fucking legal. That's why I don't come with the same smoke with any of the people that were talking shit about me last year anyway. That's why it looks like I'm just cool with everybody now because I have to be. Like, they're doing nothing wrong in the first place. So, hello, it is what it is. But, I mean...
Let's pivot and talk about Masters Toronto. Bro.
Hold on. Before Masters Toronto. I think the thing that also needs to be said, I'm defending myself here, actually. Probably the first time I'm really going to defend myself. People didn't know that the reason we started SpikeTalk is because you and Steve are like, yo, I think we would, like, this would be really entertaining and great or whatever, blah, blah, blah. And since I've never, ever, ever acted like this before, like, I've never talked about my esports career before, right? I was pretty much a ghost with a lot of accomplishments in the past, right? When I came here, I said, yeah, I'm going to be myself. I'm going to do my thing, blah, 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 blah. Mm-hmm. The reason why I was so passionate about the cheating thing, I talked to you guys about that already. I already said, it's because, it was my last chance and stuff, right? But even despite the fact that a lot of shit was happening to me last year, like I knew when a player called me or said I hated Koreans on a broadcast. The reason we never brought it in here is because I also wanted this shit to be just about Valorant. The shit between me and Termi is not about fucking Valorant.
Yeah.
That's why I don't address it. It is what it is. So I hope I never have to do a thing like this because I don't like the fact that this whole fucking episode has nothing to do with the games that just happened at all in any region. So I hope that now that my shit is out there, people can correctly criticize me for whatever the fuck I said on here that turns out to be a mistake. Because then actually I can understand why all these players and all the discourse is what the fuck it is. And I'm not asking, and listen, I know better than anybody. I'm not going to get a single apology. Trust me, I know this. But I think that is the problem with the double standard. Because someone like me will apologize when he fucks up. And I gave you a story of one that just happened to some people at Riot who I technically didn't even have to apologize to. But I did it anyway because it was the right thing to do. And that seems to be the problem here. It is true. I may not always do the right thing. Unfortunately, sometimes I can be petty, which you all saw. But I promise you, I do not swing first. I don't. And that's where it'll end.
Let's talk about Masters Toronto and the teams that have already qualified.
Thank God.
We watched NA. Dude, yo, let me just say, our boy Ye pop the fuck off in playoffs, bro. This is the best we've ever seen him, dude. Like,
no.
In a long time.
Don't do that. Don't do that. We have been very consistent that Ye was not the problem.
We knew that too, but all I'm trying to say is that he finally showed it, right? And I think that that's the main thing. I think that even I started like having criticisms in my head when I was like watching EG play earlier, like in kickoff. I was like, even about Ye, I was like, bro, this guy's TPing, like making like small mistakes. You could definitely tell that he was in his own head. But you know what though? Like, it's nice seeing him back because we, like you said, we knew the whole time that he had it, right? Like we all knew that. I just got really nervous in the beginning of kickoff when I saw him making like mechanical errors because I was like, oh fuck, like he's either nervous. No, I actually just straight up thought that he was fucking nervous. I'm not gonna lie. Which is like, you know what, bro? He's like back in an A for the first time. Like, I would probably be fucking nervous too.
He's
bro.
also out of his role still because there's a lot of maps where he's like smokes. So it's like it's just kind of weird.
But he was on like Chamber on like Split, and he was making these. I mean, you know what? Fucking shit happens to everybody, bro. You can't be fucking.
Well, now
perfect.
he's on Astra, but
dude,
the only point I was trying to make is I knew it wasn't him. That is not to say that Bleed or Crazy Guy or whatever
Was the problem either, yeah.
Was the problem either. It's just sometimes you have bad mixes. That doesn't mean you're a shit player. Sometimes shit just doesn't fucking work.
Yeah.
Like, it just is what it is.
Yeah. Anyways.
Like, chemistry matters.
He played fucking great. And honestly, EG, they could have taken
Bro,
that,
how
man.
crazy is that, bro? They had an 11-9 lead, and then G2 go on to win it. And Valent. So the reason why Valent was so emotional, obviously, is because they almost failed the objectives.
Twice. Bro,
So, listen,
and also, hold on, because we agree on the same shit.
Big players make big plays in big games.
Listen, dude, you gotta give so much respect to that fucking team because, like,
yeah, that took a lot
to
of
bring
heart.
that shit back off of mistakes that the other teams had. Bro, 100 Thieves had that shit at least to OT in the bag. And you could probably argue that for EG as well. Both teams got to 11 on the same fucking map, bro.
Yep.
On the same fucking map.
Yep.
And they tossed, and G2 were like, bet. And you, like, the G2 guys know that too, bro. Watch the round of 100 Thieves, bro. Watch the round of 100 Thieves when it's 11-7 and G2 are on the fucking thrifty buy and Cryo comes out of the fucking Yoru ultimate and could have gotten 3 kills, bro. Oh my God, brother. Like, you know, I'm gonna fucking link it, bro. I gotta link it, bro. Listen, Cryo.
Yeah. Cryo, if you want to watch it, we can watch it.
No,
I saw it.
Cryo, you're the fucking GOAT. Like, honestly, I think Cryo was a phenomenal player.
It was insane.
But
also,
man, sometimes you make a mistake in your career that, like, you never forget until man, you got.
Well, I'll be honest with you. I also think a mistake was the Yoru play where he went behind the wall. First off, how do you not know that when G2 plays Asha, they used to do this on they do this on a bunch of maps where they have these little pockets where Yoru could go into.
Was that was against
back
EG?
halls.
That was against EG.
Yeah. That was against EG. Like, it's like teams are like kind of like unaware of what G2 likes to do, and they just happen to always punish you for slipping at the worst time. It's so crazy, bro.
All right. I thought it was 11-7. It was 11-6, bro. Even worse, bro. And listen, obviously, like, you got to 11, you still had so much buffer to still try to win. So I'm not gonna put.
How
this
about
all
we
on
just
Cryo.
play it here for everybody?
Yeah. Here. I'm gonna post it.
Let's do it.
Yeah, I just need.
I'm not gonna, like, just say that this was all fucking like Cryo throwing and shit, bro. Like, I'm not trying to say that.
I mean,
because Cryo was the one that got them to this point in the first place.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, as like a player, like, I know as a fact, he's looking back at this fucking round, and just it's definitely haunting him, bro. There's no way.
Here we go.
Watch this shit, bro. Look at the buy right now from G2.
Yeah.
So they can play the overtime if they lose this round. But they definitely do.
I remember this play, but
they've done before. Stacking towards the right
too much,
spot
too fast.
Bro.
Too much, too fast. Coming out in the open, getting stunned. Like,
No, bro, they're not even that. Go back.
To the site.
Bro, he comes out, just gun out, bro.
Spotted the B site to start.
G2 looking to
But
defend
do you
this.
see
They
what
wanna
I'm
get back in
saying?
immediately.
No. I see what
Use
you're
these
saying.
small buys
But this
to
is
get
what
into the
happens.
site.
So
They played
this round, this is a good coaching moment. Go back about 10 seconds, maybe more. Right there.
Sorry, I went
Pause.
back a little too much. Yeah.
It's okay. 125 is fine. Right here. Pause. So now he knows everyone is there. This is okay. I'm not trying to be critical of anybody. I'm just trying to be honest. This is one of the issues I have with my team. There's a 124 on the clock, right? You got 4 players stuck behind a smoke. You know this is strong side, right? You should always have a freeze or a reset option if this stuff happens. Now it's okay. Everyone's off site. I'm going to come out. I'm going to do my thing. Okay, cool. Another alternative is you can also, with the rest of your ult, go back to your team who's going to come out of a smoke, and now they have to decide, do I kill the Yoru or the 3 other people swinging? If that were the case, and now you're all together. My team does this too. What happened with 100 Thieves here was there was so much shit happening so fast. I can guarantee you the comms were fucking crazy. There's a lot of emotion. It's 11-6. You got to win the round. Cryo knows he's running out of time. He has a lot of shit. He didn't set his TP early enough.
He didn't set it.
Trust me, I deal with brother. When I tell you I deal with this shit every day, I deal with this shit every day, and it drives me fucking nuts.
He also has 2 flashes.
Fucking nuts.
Look at the utility that you have, and you're running. Oh man, it's just
brother.
So,
I know
he could have flashed for his team.
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
But this is a round that you only lose because of pressure. Because
I
I
agree.
guarantee you, like my team, when they're fucking in their boxers in their fucking bedroom,
They win this.
In
They win
scrims,
this 10 times out of 10.
free as fuck. Then
10
all of a
times
sudden,
out of 10.
we forget how to play Valorant, and it's like unlucky, bro. And then I don't know what's going on because they can't speak my language, but at least here you know what the fucking comms were. But fuck, bro. Listen, I feel for 100
bro.
Thieves here because I've been here. I know what the fuck it's like, bro, to just throw
Yeah.
these fucking stupid ass rounds. However, G2 seems to be the team that can always fucking pull a rabbit out of a hat lately.
Dude, I've been
So-
I come up with this phrase now. It's the G2 Thrifty, bro. The G2 Thrifty is unbelievable, bro. These guys with the stinger, it's like, bro, it's unfucking believable the shit that they pull off with the stinger, dude. And like I'm a fucking huge G2 fan, but bro, when I'm watch partying this shit, I like want to fucking throw up when they're on a light buy because I know they're gonna win it. It's gotten to the point where like I literally just call it in my watch parties.
It's insane.
And I'm like, chat, bro, I don't even want to watch. I already know they're gonna do it because I'm like.
It's insane.
I know what, dude. I know what happened to me with the Bucky when I played against Vanity, bro.
Oh,
and how
on a
it
sense,
basically stopped me from
B-main,
making
bro.
an event.
Yeah,
It
B-main.
basically stopped me from making an event,
It's the worst.
and I just can't imagine, bro. Like every team that plays against G2, bro, the way that they're able to pull out these thrifty round wins is unbelievable, bro.
So I do think 100 Thieves loss is bad. I will also say I think the one that to me was even more heartbreaking, actually. So this 100 Thieves round, now that I look at it retroactively, I think it's worse. But coming out of the game, I thought the 11-9 EG
But let's all right,
sack was bad.
That's great.
and I'm not going to be critical of
Ye.
Ye. Like I'm not going to be critical of Ye, but I thought Ye made some mistakes. I was actually going to message him and like talk to him about it, but I was like, you know what?
He knows. He knows.
Well, but it's also like weird. It's like, yeah, we're cool, but like he has his own coach. Maybe there's a reason why he has to play this way. Like, you know, whatever. But yeah, NAVCT was
run
litty.
Let's run
It was
that.
actually litty.
Let's run that 11-9, bro, because I'm not going to lie. I actually didn't get to watch this one. I didn't get to watch this.
Oh,
I didn't get to watch this one, so I want to watch it. So you're going to get my actual like real-time reaction.
this is
Everybody out there's gonna get my
talent
real-time
level
reaction.
throw, brother.
Let's see.
I feel like I'm watching my own team. By the way, on a low buy again, G2, the eco
Three stingers,
fucking
bro.
heroes.
The G2 Thrifty, brother.
Look at this. So their defense is extremely passive everywhere, which, okay.
It's okay, because you know they're on the G2 Thrifty,
Yep.
so I actually agree with this.
Smoke on the cross. Now they have the entirety. Yoru comes and checks spawn. Makes sense. Like, look.
You're looking for information, and then you're probably sight smoking. You know, if Valen has two smokes, he can pop them either side of that.
You get info that they have street. You already knew that anyway, though.
Right? That's why this rotation doesn't make sense.
Catching a bullet to the leg there, but alive in time for the plan
Yeah,
itself.
going
Hit pause.
long. Yeah.
Hit pause. Go back and watch that. Go back to the moment that contact was made in street when Ye rotates. Go back.
Flying in
Two.
How do you get it done?
Go back again.
If any team
Right here,
could do
from
it
here.
with a
Just
back
watch.
line like this, it would be G2.
How do you get it done?
Thank you, Steve.
You have mid-control. Flying in wait, watch 4 by EG. That's Ye with the operator. On
So now you know drone art.
You're
Watch
looking for
this.
information, and then you're probably sight smoking.
Watch
You know, if
this.
Valen has two smokes,
Boom.
he can pop them
Pause.
either side of that
Where did he
default,
come from?
You're probably sight smoking. You know,
Where
if
did he
Valen
come
has-
from? Pause. Where did he come from?
I don't even know what to fucking call that, bro. What the fuck is the call out for that? I actually don't even know.
All right. So
Street?
there's a bunch,
It's not
but
street, but
let's just say like CT. Let's just say CT.
clearly you knew they took art,
Right.
and you were holding
So
the door the whole
drone
time,
art-
so you know that they fucking went all the way.
Drone.
Yeah.
Exactly. So where are they
Water.
most likely
we'll call
shading?
it water. We'll call it water. We'll just call it
Most likely, where are they shading?
Yeah, towards B. They're heavy B right now. Or heavy A. Sorry.
Right. And you have a Vice that could basically jump spot the B line just in case, right?
Yeah.
Now hit play.
Two smokes, he can pop them either side of that default, and you try to close the gap.
Looking to try and go into this one. A bit of stray spam as well. Trent catching a bullet to the leg there, but alive in time.
He's still at B.
Yep. That's what I'm talking about. You lose. It doesn't seem like a lot, but 5 seconds
Could have been
is
here already. Yeah. He could
an
have been here already.
eternity. I mean, he would have been closer for sure, but so now look at this.
And lets it loose now. Eyes on Jorgamo inside that smoke and the timing. Timing barely going his way here, but that's into his face.
Man, good.
Knives out. No escape.
Great.
Here. To the side. It's such a quick response in EG. Ultimate 2v2, ultimate earned.
Unlucky, brother.
9 seconds on salvos for
They don't tap early enough, and now you, yeah. Oh. Okay, now why did I bring any of that up? Why did I bring any of that up? Why did I bring any of that up? Because of time. I know it seems like a small micro thing, but
You have to wait.
No, not just that. It's imagine if that retake gets started earlier. They
That's what
have
I'm
more
saying,
time.
Because you had to wait. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it's
100%.
like you have to know Teo has you have to take all these things into account when you do retakes, post plants, all that stuff. Brother, that shit is criminal what happened, bro. Losing that round
they
is
knew Jaw was close.
criminal.
They knew Jaw was close because who's the Vice? Fuck, I don't even remember who the fuck the Vice is. Nature, maybe? Nature the Vice? Yeah.
It is.
He saw him close.
Listen,
Damn. I mean, yo,
the heat of the moment,
props to
shit
Giacomo
happens.
for pulling that
No,
off,
for sure, bro.
Holy
For sure,
fuck,
bro. For sure, bro.
What a
And
play.
my team also,
What a fucking play.
I'm not judging. I'm not saying our team doesn't do. Oh my God, our team is worse. I'm not even saying we have some mental gaffes last year that were legendary, but it's unfortunate. I feel like EG had that one in the bag. I actually feel like I don't know,
These, bro, 11-6 too as well.
I mean, you know what's so funny?
11-6 is kind of crazy, bro.
I don't know if this is wrong or not, but I never how do I say this?
That's rough, bro.
11-9 in EG's position. When I'm watching the game, I'm like, oh, G2 are done.
Yeah.
But 11-6 versus 100 Thieves, I don't know why I didn't think they were done.
G2?
Yeah. It didn't.
Bro,
I don't know why.
bro. It
The
made
score
no
line is
sense.
so different. It should
made
not
no
be the
sense.
case. It should be
Bro.
flipped, but for some reason it wasn't. I don't know.
Bro, if you watch the prior
Oh, no,
three
I watched
rounds
both
from 100
series.
Thieves,
Yeah.
but like if you watch them back, dude, 100 Thieves won those
It was
rounds
clean.
so cleanly.
Clean. I know.
And then they just I agree with what you said. I think they realized they're like, oh my God, we can do this. We can fucking do this.
Yeah, and then it just...
And then, oh shit! I mean, I don't know for
Yeah.
sure. I didn't have the comms, and we could be just talking out of our ass.
I don't know
Who the
either.
fuck
I'm
knows?
just projecting what I
But-
think happens based on what I
Yeah.
have felt about other
Dude.
players and positions. That
Well, all
I've
right.
seen.
So, what did you? So, obviously, G2 won the whole fucking thing, which is a crazy run that they went on, considering like how things were going. It looks like they're in like good form again for Toronto because that was a rough fucking
Which is
series.
good.
What do you think about Sen and MIBR, bro?
And they might
'Cause-
be winning in their own place. That's nice.
Right, yeah.
Sen and MIBR. I thought
yeah.
that series was litty.
But what do you think about the two teams, though? What do you think about the two teams in general?
Oh, I think they're very good. I think. Look, I think Sentinels and G2 are by far. I think some of the
are
strongest
fucking
teams going
good,
into
man.
this tournament. Even in my region.
Yeah.
I think they are very good.
MIBR, like, okay, so what do you? How do I word this? How far do you exactly this?
MIBR can beat a
How
lot
far
of
do you think
teams.
MIBR can get in? Yeah, how do
I
you
think they
they're
can
gonna do?
beat. Oh, I think they could do very well against
Gotcha.
Pacific and EMEA. I think it's going to be like
Gotcha.
NA. I think probably is going to have the winner of the tournament. I think EMEA. So the thing about EMEA is, I actually think EMEA top 3 is the best overall.
Really? You think EMEA is like the best region right now?
No, I just think the top.
Oh, like the
probably
average.
top. Yeah.
see.
Like the 3 teams they'll probably send if it's like, let's just say like Heretics,
I'm thinking
Fnatic.
I'm thinking Heretics.
Liquid.
Because look at the bracket real quick. Where's the EMEA bracket? Can we pop that up? If you look at the bracket for EMEA, I think you're definitely gonna vote Heretics, and you're definitely gonna vote some. I forgot who's on the opposite end of Heretics.
Oh, it's Liquid, like I said, yeah.
Yeah, so I
think Fnatic can also make it out. So I think those
you would
3
probably
teams.
Vote, yeah, you would probably.
I think
vote,
those 3 teams are stronger than the
Yeah.
3 teams we sent, right? Why I said NA is going to be our 3 teams are going to be a problem is because I think style wise, I think in every series, and I don't want to be like disrespectful. I don't mean to be disrespectful, but in every series, the American teams have the best player, if that makes sense. You know what I'm saying?
Keep in mind, the patch is going to be Teo nerf.
Fair, but they still have the best player. John Gemmo is still better than. Bro, let's talk about. Okay, this isn't fair. I can't believe I just did that because I don't like this discourse, and I just did that.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to put my fan and my coach hat on at the same time.
Mm.
G2 has the best player in the series when against any of the EMEA teams when they go in there. Right? Aspas, do I need to say anything?
Yeah,
and then Zekin. Okay,
dude,
Zekin's
might form is fucking crazy.
Now there
right
might
now.
be an argument. You can make an argument that some of the EMEA teams may have a guy that is on Zekin's level, maybe, right? Because no disrespect to Zach or anyone, I do put Aspas at a higher level than even Zekin. That is not to diminish how good Zekin is, right? It is just more to say that I just think Aspas obviously is different, right? When I think about it, the NA teams have the best player. And I think home cooking, best player that no team has ever really won in their own country. And Valen and some of the boys are Canadian. So obviously it's going to be very hard for them to win because the emotion, just look at the emotion to qualify. Right? Like, it meant a fuck ton and it's going to be hard. I think it was Boaster that said it, right? Where like he tried to win in China so hard because of like Yinsu's family and stuff, and the pressure was just like crazy.
Dude, Leo, man, I remember being there. Like, holy shit, Leo was so sick, bro. I remember being in like the bathroom.
I know.
And like, dude, I remember like just hearing like I was taking a piss. Leo wasn't even in there, but I remember like the manager or somebody was in there,
Mm-hmm.
and like, just out of nowhere, like he's just like, it makes a call. He's like, "We need ice now. We need ice now, bro." That was like, I was like, "What the fuck is happening, bro?" And then like the match didn't start, like, cause like Leo didn't walk out and shit, bro. Fucking, their coach was about to play. It was insane. That was insane, bro. That Shanghai run was not gonna be meant. For
No,
Fnatic
I
to
know,
make.
but I know. You know what's funny? Sorry,
It's actually so sad that we haven't seen him play since then. Holy fuck.
that was insensitive. It's not funny. I meant just like that's just how I speak.
cut,
but-
bro, don't worry.
Leo. So me and Jovi were talking, and I made a comment like, "Bro, Leo hasn't played in like 2 or 3 years, right?
Played in Shanghai.
Consistently. That's my consistently." And he goes, "Hector, you know he played in Shanghai." I was like, "Oh shit, you're right." Why does it feel like Leo?
Feels like forever.
Right. I was like, "Oh my goodness." It feels like he hasn't been a part of Fnatic in so long. Right? So,
Yeah.
I mean, now it could just be me being an idiot. I have no problem with that. But like, I was just shocked at Leo's, like, yeah, I was just shocked. Straight up shocked.
Feels like it's been longer for sure. I agree.
Yeah, I just couldn't believe it. I was like, oh my God, man. Like, but yeah. I mean, obviously, still sucks to lose a guy that good.
Of course.
So, I will definitely not.
Let's move on to China. China got
I was surprised by
EDG.
Wolves.
EDG
I was
lost.
surprised
Yeah,
by
the
Wolves.
Wolves one was massive, and we're trying to get
EDG didn't qualify. That is kind of crazy after making the change. Look, there's going to be arguments. Should they have made the change? Should they not made the change?
By the way,
We
shout
talked
out
about
to
it on
fucking
an episode.
Lysor, bro.
Lysor the GOAT. Yeah,
Right?
man. Yep, he made it.
Fucking Lysor, bro. And then obviously we're trying to have Fade on SpikeTalk, so we're gonna be trying to.
Yeah,
run
by
that
the
as soon
way,
as we can make that
this
happen.
happened way before the tweet.
Yeah, we were gonna have him on. before the
It's
tweet.
just random. That's why I said earlier, but I stopped myself like, oh my God, people are going to think, but it's like, no, it's not actually. We didn't, none of that was planned. Like,
He
I didn't
should have
know.
been on sooner, just trying to coordinate schedules. Like,
It's hard to
time
coordinate
zones are
fucking
so
China
crazy
APAC
with esports
me.
players, man, and schedules. It's just how it goes.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah,
And like
so-
everyone was in playoffs at the same fucking time. I was casting like the first week of playoffs.
Yeah, I was surprised by China. Jilai.
Gilai?
I know Yinsu is going to make fun of us. Or she's going to make fun of me, especially.
I think it's Gilai. Gilai.
Okay, so Jilai, Rarga,
bro.
the GOAT brother.
Oh, I
is
can't wait to see him play.
insane, bro.
I can't wait to see him play. bro.
Oh shit!
But no,
bro.
but also YZ too. I can't wait to see YZ play, bro. This guy's dropping fucking nukes, dude. This guy's also dropping nukes. His neon is fucking outstanding.
Yeah.
bro.
So Billy, I mean,
Holy
okay,
shit, bro.
Can I be honest?
Yeah,
To me, he is the only reason they were in that series.
brother, that guy's a fucking freak.
Like,
how do you lose
yeah.
a series when you go 24?
No, it's true.
Bro.
It's
24
true.
first kills, 11 first deaths, and you lose, bro. Nah, bro. Nah. This guy's fucking putting up DGZ numbers, bro. But better.
Yeah, I mean, that is a good point. I guess I'm always naturally biased to the winner because it is true when I think about it.
But if you look at the first kills,
what are the stats?
Look, go look at that series. Look at the first kills, first deaths, and you're gonna be like, how the fuck?
Okay, I'm brain dead. I don't even know why I
bro,
thought.
How did Billy lose this shit, bro?
When I watched this, I was like, man, Varga's playing pretty good. I almost forgot.
Yeah, bro.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
my bad, bro. Plus 25?
Yeah, bro.
Damn. All right, my bad.
But look but in general though, look at the first deaths across the board.
Either way,
across the board, it's just like that just goes to show like how close some of these maps were though. You know what I mean? Like
yeah.
But I'm not gonna lie.
So that tells me you lost macro. And that's what I meant. No, but that's what I meant though. So this is another thing for people to learn. Whenever you see a series and you see the team with a better plus minus lost the game, that's macro. Right? That means individually you might be better, but you just lost macro.
Couldn't close out the
too
rounds
much
and the advantages that you had. Yeah, you got outplayed. Yeah.
So yeah, you got outplayed. Yeah. So that's tough, bro.
There was some close maps in there. Some very close maps.
Yeah, Pacific, I'm ass. There's nothing else to be said.
Yeah, y'all lost, bro. We already talked about that.
We're trash.
PRX going on a fucking run. You shouted this shit out though.
I know. And now they play DRX, and I know the whole fucking. I get it, man.
We should go back and
this is gonna be a banger because, yeah. But I still favor PRX, and it has nothing to fucking do with what the fuck happened. But as you pointed out, I obviously called PaperX. I just think PaperX is playing, bro. Yeah,
looking good.
I'm not gonna be surprised, obviously, if DRX wins. So I'm not even going to pretend like that's like, but I will admit.
It's going to be a good game.
I still think PRX is going to win because I think PRX is just, like I said, yeah, they were going to make a run. They are in form. And I think they're actually of the 4 teams. Yeah, there's 4 teams. Yeah, 4 teams. I think PRX is playing better than all of them.
You think that they're going to be first seed?
No. I think they can be. Whereas, like, remember 3 weeks ago, everybody said they were ass and done?
Yeah.
And I literally said, they're not done. They're going to make playoffs, and they're probably going to, like, go through the... I legitimately believe that PaperX can actually win Pacific this season, even though this is, like, I feel like they just hit a stride. This is obviously not criticizing RQ or, like, Genji or whatever, or any of that stuff. It's just, when PaperX is in form, that is just a hard beast to stop.
Yeah, it's a different fucking pace.
I don't think they're gonna win. I think.
Who do you think's gonna win it?
I think RQ has the best chance actually to win.
Really?
Yeah. If I was a betting man, because I think that, especially having played both Genji and DRX, without giving too much away, yeah, I think I understand where the advantages for them will be. And I actually think it's like time that can happen. I actually think RQ can go as the 1 seed. Will I bet it? I think no. If I'm being safe, I think Genji is the safe pick. I think Dark Horse, PaperX, I think DRX. Can they? Yeah, I think these 4 teams are very close, actually.
Yeah.
Consistency-wise, I think for sure the most consistent of all of them. Okay, if you're going to say this season, you think RQ and DRX should be close. But I think DRX is the most consistent of all these teams. I think the highest upside is PaperX.
I think Hyunmin is fucking phenomenal, man. He's like, again, I'm going to say it again. I think incredible. This kid is going to be one of the best duelists in APAC for sure.
Oh, he's incredible. And
he's so young too, right?
It is what it is. Yep. He is incredible. So it's hard to call because I think all these teams are very close as opposed to, like, let's say the other regions.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I don't know, man. My head and my heart are aligned. I think PaperX actually can go.
They're gonna do the fucking run.
RRQ. I think it's gonna be PaperX RRQ in the finals.
Wow.
Which is kind of crazy. But believe it or not, I actually think RQ matches up better versus PaperX. But I don't know.
How come? Like because of like just because they can bang or what?
style of play. I mean, yeah, they can bang, and like I think it's like they can play slow, they can play fast, they can trap. Like,
Is it because
they
they
have a better
also
map
have?
pool.
Is it because they also have? Oh wait, I was just say. Trying to pop up RQ. Why can't I find RQ? Yeah, is it okay? This is what I was gonna say. Is it because they also have a Russian or what, bro?
No. But that is hilarious. I mean, something was like 0-13 or something, 0-11.
Yeah.
And a half, and then came back and like almost finished positive. I think. Hold on, I gotta find that. That
Yeah,
shit
bro.
To me was so
yeah,
funny,
bro. He's been.
Was
he's
that
been,
Lotus?
He's been shooting again,
no.
bro.
Was that Lotus?
I don't
Damn,
fucking
what
know.
map was that guy like? He like a Oberger.
But I have Maxim versus Ilya, bro. Maxim Batorov versus Ilya Petrov. Bro, that shit would be fire. I'm not even gonna lie, that shit would be fire. Obviously,
Dude,
PRX need to
was
beat.
that T1? Bro, I don't remember the game, bro. But something was giga griefing. Oh yeah, he went 1-15 on against T1 on Fracture, but then he just balled out of control the next two maps.
Yeah, bro. Yeah,
that shit is just so funny, bro.
That's the best, bro. No, that's the best.
That is the best, bro. I was
That's
like,
the best.
damn, this guy, what a beast. Like,
yeah,
so
that's
funny.
crazy. Like, especially for him, I feel like he's a player that like his mental wasn't the strongest. I'll just say that.
Yeah, tough, unlucky, bro.
But he brought it back now. He's different, bro. He's moving different right now. It's actually really good. Well, can I get some of your thoughts on Patman? What do you think about Patman as a player, man?
I'll tell you, I thought it was a mistake, and I told this to Alex, and unlucky for me, bro, I was wrong because Alex was right. I think he saw something obviously I didn't see, and I think their chemistry is good. Like that's the thing I like. The chemistry is good.
Yeah.
I think he fits a need. I believe he's calling. Looks like he's doing a great job. Obviously, I don't know it as much as I should.
I didn't know.
Yeah, I didn't see it coming.
I didn't know much about him. I was like
coming.
kind of confused as well, but yeah, that was great.
But I believe in him. But I was dead wrong about that. I was like, yeah, okay, man, because I even thought that there were better Filipino replacements that were not obviously on Secret or GE that I would have considered first. But yeah, I gotta hold that because I was wrong about that one. Unlucky. Can't make every shot you take. Unlucko bucko. I would have fucked myself because he looks like he can ball.
We're gonna be doing some viewer questions, and then we're gonna wrap this one up. Everybody out there that is watching. Okay, so we got our first one from Sir Carmelli. I hope to see a rage talk about EMEA tech pauses next episode. I mean, bruh, they got good PCs and they're playing on LAN again, bro. I actually still can't believe that they were playing online for a little bit.
Look, it's easy to be critical. Nobody likes it. Obviously, they don't like it. But I think the way they handled it was at least good. And I think on a personal level, and this is no, I'm not trying to demean anything or anyone, but it just goes to show you how appreciative you should be when people are obviously doing a good job, right? Like I know I said that shit about me getting mad in Pacific and stuff, which is the fucking truth because I still don't agree with that bullshit. But anyways, I digress. But the VCT Pacific setup and the things that we do here, like we rarely have problems and all that stuff. And it's easy to forget that the people working there are doing such a good job because you don't notice it because nothing fails. So it's like when shit like this happens, it's easy to, or sorry, not easy, but like you should always put in perspective like how beneficial it has been for Pacific players. Sure, not everything is great. Like we have practice PCs issues and stuff, but for the most part, we don't have these problems, and it sucks for all the EMEA people that had that problem. And I was trying to watch the Fnatic match one night, and then that was the night where the
yeah,
so unlucky, bro.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Hey, but they figured it out, and sometimes light just needs to be brought on to certain things to get shit moving, bro. Like similar to what you're trying to do, right?
No, what I tried to do.
All the players
and then stopped doing it.
Up and they all talked about it. And
now, and that was great.
Now they got NASA PCs out there, bro.
That's right, bro.
They got
about
NASA PCs.
So yeah, they got quantum computers, bro. They're about to fucking,
Hey, what if now that Yeah, what if now that EMEA has some like good ass PCs, they're just gonna become fucking freaks, bro? Like they've been playing it like at a handicap this whole time, bro.
Yeah, it's tough.
I'm just trolling.
Yeah, but
No,
when
it
they go
is
to
tough.
another region, they're going to be at disadvantage when they got to play on the worst PCs.
Shit, we'll see, bro.
Fair.
We'll see.
Fair.
All right. 8987 asks, did you know Tenz tried to interview you after your T1 match? I think you could honestly have him on.
Funny. So Mika came to me and said, yo, you got to do this. And I had to do a Scrum interview. I tried to get Jovi to do the Scrum interview. Riot was for some reason not having it, which, by the way, I will say, and I don't know if anyone in VCT Pacific will hear this or see this, but what I will say, though, is I think it was cap that I couldn't have done, because Tenz came from America, and he was watch partying in Pacific. So why isn't that more important than Scrum interviews? Because clearly, and I'm going to use sarcasm here, and this is kind of why I think I have the perception that I do, but unlucky, but I am going to be me. Clearly, nobody watches the fucking Scrum interviews anyway, right? Because it's clear that like people missed a lot of fucking Scrum interviews last year. Very clear. So why the fuck are we then going to be like, nah, Tenz, you can't get the interview request because of a fucking Scrum interview, which I'm going to repeat, nobody fucking watches anyway, right? So why was it so important? Why couldn't I switch it? Because basically what happens is, a week before, or not a week before, like 3 days before your game, they give the GMs like a list of like potential interviews and whether or not you accept them or decline them. And then they give you a follow-up, which is who's going to do the Scrum interviews. So the week that the thing happened with Cruz, everyone thought I was like being a dickhead to Carlisle or whatever, or sorry, not everyone, but I received. But in reality, it's now everyone knows what happened to Cruz. And it just wasn't the right time to have me there. Like, it was better for Jovi and Jit to do it, right, than me and Cruz for the obvious reason, right? Because we didn't want him fielding questions about this at all, right?
Yeah.
So I was just trying to make an adjustment like, yo, if Tenz wants to interview me, I'll go do this. Why don't y'all just get Jovi to do it? They literally were like, no. And I was like, huh? So all I ask is, NA, EMEA, Pacific, if things like that happen, if players are watch partying over there and a coach or a player has a Scrum interview, can we have the leniency to switch and make an adjustment and at least like have somebody else fill in, especially since it seems like Scrum interviews are apparently not important because, like, as I pointed out, nobody fucking watches it, I guess. So please, but sorry, Tenz. Officially, that I was not able to watch. I would love for him to come on SpikeTalk. I believe, Andre, you reached out to him,
reached
right?
out.
We talked about this.
He responded. I reached out to Tenz. He said, hold on, let me see what he said again, bro.
He's probably like, fuck off.
I said, yo, I reached out. I was like, yo, but the one hop on SpikeTalk, I heard you wanted to interview FrosT, blah, blah, blah. He said, what's SpikeTalk?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
shit.
so that
but
shit
maybe
is
we'll have
hilarious.
him, maybe we'll have him on, though. Who knows?
No. That shit is a hilarious response.
No.
So,
it was fucking good, bro. It was fucking good. I'm not even fucking mad, bro, at all, dude. This guy,
No, I
this
get
guy's
it.
living his life
that's
in
fucking
retirement,
But
bro.
yes, I tried, but I was told fuck off. So unlucky. Seems to happen a lot, by the way, to be told fuck off by,
Alex Devs asks, would FrosT consider coaching Collegiate? And if so, what university so I can enroll?
Bro, this is so funny. So I don't want to go off a crazy big tangent here, but in Dota, this was for TI3. I was at FIU at the time, Florida International University in Miami. And I tried to get them to host us at the computer lab because we were trying to compete. So there was like a play-in game to see who goes to TI. It was Seb. You guys probably know Seb Dota. Like Sebastian. He used to be called fucking Mad, but now it's like Seb. He's on, or sorry, he was on. He won, I think, 2 TIs in a row actually with the Red Bull team. OG with OG, right? So he was on, I think, Quantic, and Flipside was playing. It was like Mania. Like, anyways, this is a Dota thing that you guys probably don't care about. But
You
anyways,
won
so I went to
2018 and 2019, and then yeah.
yeah. So this is like 5 years later. He plays at TI and he wins it, right? But we are playing in a play-in tournament for TI. I'm enrolled in school going there at the same time. I tried to get one of my professors noticed I had a Dota logo on a sweater, and he was like, his name is Juan Rodriguez. He's a economics professor at FIU. I believe he was still there. He was department head. So shout out to Juan. He like saw it and was like, blah, blah, blah. I found out that my professor liked Dota. So I asked him to help me go to the dean and like try to like set up a place where we could boot camp on campus, basically, because like we didn't have computer labs in Miami. Like that shit wasn't a thing. Like there's no PC bungs like there are in Korea. That's just not how it was, right? How it is. Well, until now, shout out to Rock, by the way. Raiders of the Night is a very good LAN center in Miami, by the way. Shout out. I did an interview with them actually and talked about this. So you can probably look up their Twitter, Raiders of the Night, and you can find a little podcast I did with them where they asked me about FIU in Miami because they're from here. That's how I know Jovi also. Right? Long story short, the dean told me to fuck off, which again, theme of the episode, fuck off. And many years later, I'm talking esports height. This is like right around the pandemic. I'm doing park and recreational esports programs in South Florida, like Sunny Isles, Miami Beach, Deerfield,
Miramar,
Pompano, Miramar. Shout out to all those. You know, I mean, I could go out and just like name a bunch of people there, but there's a lot of good people that work for the cities that really have a lot of appreciation for what gaming and esports is, and they're trying to like install like youth programs like basketball, baseball, football, Andre. But imagine having a computer lab in the Parks and Rec building, so that if you can't afford a PC, you can still play like League of Legends or Dota or like Counter-Strike, all that stuff. That's what people are trying to do in cities in America, which I have participated in. And whatever, if for some reason you want more information about that, you go to Pythos, pythos.gg. But I go to FIU. This is like 2018. This is like before the pandemic, 2018, 2019. I even go to my high school, Cypress Bay High School in South Florida, by the way. They both apparently have esports programs. I show up, and I'm like, yo, if you guys have esports programs, you know, I came from this school. I came from this. I've had a long career in esports. I've, world championship here, like blah, 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 blah. I have access to all these players. Sorry, maybe it was a little later because I was on 100 Thieves. So maybe this was like 2019, 2020. Both of those schools told me to fuck off also. Esports programs, but they're like, fuck off. We don't care. Like, we don't give a shit. So I have tried to go and like help collegiate programs, in particular the ones that I like came from, like the alma mater, the high school. They don't seem to like esports people, and I think this is the common motif. I think outside of a few schools, right? Like there's Akron and Maryville, and there's like a bunch of schools.
Maryville to me is like the most like
yeah. It's like the one
advertised one, right?
Yeah. There are many colleges that have taken esports extremely seriously and have esports people. But there are many colleges that don't. I mean, I'll give another example. When I was at Furia, I was trying to help UCLA because my mentor, Jay Tucker, he's the head of the business school at UCLA. There's a esports program there. Fuck off, Hector. So there's a lot of schools that don't actually have esports people. And since you said, so what university so I can enroll, I would love to help a university in particular, mainly because I remember what it was like I told you guys now, being in college, trying to compete and play in esports, and them basically telling me to fuck off. And I'm literally enrolled in the university about to play, Flipside's about to play for like $1.2 million if we beat Seb. Obviously, I didn't beat Sakshka and Seb. They told me to fuck off too. They took the spot. They ended up playing Rattlesnakes and losing, by the way, so they didn't even, but anyways, that's a whole other can of worms. I think right now, Maryville, the University of Akron are two. Wait, it might not be the University of Akron, but there's a school in Akron. I don't remember the name, but it is a very prominent program. I think schools like that are the ones that I think you should consider enrolling if you're looking to go into a university in order to potentially have a career in esports. What I will suggest, though, is do not go to a school for esports. If you want to do something in the industry, aim it at the part of the industry you want to be in. So let me give you the advice I give everybody else. If you want to run events, hospitality.
Yeah.
If you want to be a manager, a team manager, an agent, like someone that works in esports but is on the player side, right? You have sports and like sports. It's not sports marketing, but it's like for agents. What the fuck do they call that? Sports.
Talent management.
Business of sports.
I see what you mean.
Yeah, sports management or something is probably the degree, right? That's what you want to get into. If you want to be a professional gamer, you do not go to college for that, right? But if you want to work in the league or like in the leagues or in the space and you want to do something specific, professionalize, well, amateurism, I guess, but like try to get into the profession that has the next best correlation, right? If it's content that you want to get into in esports, you want to run a camera, you want to work for Riot in this capacity, you go to, well, marketing if you want to run it right and like help the developers with the leagues and the shit, right? If you want to be behind the camera, you go to your cinematography wing or film.
Don't go into debt to go and get into the creative side of this industry right now.
And that is from a person that has a fucking Emmy. I'm not the guy that you should speak to about this.
I do
I'm
not
only
have
saying
a degree. I ended up on that path out of luck and having a very specific DIY skill set. But I'm just saying, don't invest your next like lifetime worth of payments into a very floundering industry right now. Learn how to do all these skills off of YouTube, be a self-hustler, and learn how to do all this cool stuff and meet people and reach out to people and learn how to do stuff. Don't take tens of thousands of dollars in debt to do something creative right now.
Facts.
Unfortunate state of the world. I mean,
yeah. Yeah, that's true. I will just end with this, that, hey, listen, I did an interview for Can at Champs because I forget who was it. It wasn't the sports, but somebody was doing a documentary on Can. And because of my Razer affiliation, because of Talon, they asked me to like, no, I'm sorry. Chubby Ninja suggested that they interview me about this. And sorry, Victoria. Yeah. She was like, yo, could you do me a favor? These people doing something for Can. They want to talk to somebody from the West that like knows about Asia and like other regions that can talk about like both the differences and sort of like, you know, all the shit. One of the things I said in that documentary, which I think it was like a Chinese documentary that they just subtitled me into, so that's why probably the West didn't see it, was the difference between Korea. So Korea is the mecca of esports, and people don't really realize this. And I don't want to get into the history lesson as to why, but the true mecca of esports is in Korea.
Korea's got sick internet infrastructure because of StarCraft. That's not really a meme.
Yeah, well, technically not because of StarCraft. They needed to do it to sort of like for the financial sector, and the beneficiary of that just happened to be StarCraft and gaming, and then broadcast came into it, right?
Yeah.
China also has taken such serious like steps, because if you look at like
specifically
Gen G,
like Tencent is like
by
the way, did you know that this is like so random? Just a quick little insert. Crossfire is actually it originated in Korea. It was a Korean game. It was made by Korean.
It's a developer, Smilegate,
and Tencent
Smilegate.
bought bought them out. Yeah, exactly.
Yes. So I've seen like, you know, Gen G, T1, they have like academies, and these academy programs are like very sophisticated. Like the West, America specifically, failed the youth because all of the gaming properties, the Blizzards, Activision, Riot, they all were purchased by who? Eastern companies that took gaming and esports more seriously. And if you look at the youth programs and youth initiatives in Korea and China and compare them to shit like America, it's not even fucking close. Like America is like, you want to talk about one of the worst development pipelines imaginable? It's literally NA. It is this, a fucking crapshoot if you want to be successful. So we should at least appreciate when schools in the West, like Maryville or I think it is the University of Akron, but there was some school in Akron that you guys can do the research on. Sorry if I'm not exactly sure what school it is. And if it's not the University of Akron and it's some other school, my bad, boys. It's just unlucky. But I feel like if you are really trying to get into esports, the best thing to do is probably participate in one of those schools. I know in Florida, there's Full Sail University, which used to be for like music and the arts, but it has a very deep and extensive esports pool. I played in a Dota tournament for MLG at Full Sail, like I want to say it's like 2013, 2014 or something. So
RIT's got a pretty big community. I don't know if they have a big program.
RIT, me and Steve did a tournament. The first like collegiate LAN actually that ever happened for Dota in America was at RIT. It was like 400 people. There's a video probably on the
I think it's on the Flipside Tactics channel.
Yeah. So look at those schools instead of getting into debt and going into like UCLA or like, you know, the University of Kentucky or any of those stuff. Look for the ones that actually have like a specific, even if it's a small subset of pipelines that go into the industry, I would recommend that. As for whether or not I'm going to ever be in collegiate, listen, after what you saw the other day, clearly I'm not cut out for that, right? So, no, but helping young people get into this industry has been something that I have tried to do for a very long time because I know how difficult it has been and was for me early on. And I think it's a direct byproduct of like how Flipside couldn't ever raise money. It's because I didn't come from an affluent area. Like FIU in Miami is literally like the area around the Modesto campus is literally, bro, it used to be the hood, baby. Like people don't know this about UM. You know, UM is like in the hood. Like Coconut, like think of it like this. If you have like a square, there's a smaller square in the square. Yeah, that smaller square is the University of Miami.
Rutgers.
Everything else around it is the hood. So, you know, I came from these areas, not like, you know. So, yeah, that would be my best advice. And I think that is by far the longest question. Or that was the longest answer to a question that we ever got. Yeah.
This guy was literally like, "Yeah, I don't want to make this long." Fucking
my bad.
Like fucking 30 minutes, bro.
Then I got going. My bad. Because he gave me a two-parter.
You know
what?
Like, actually, we should do an episode where we like we get
just
some
do fan questions.
We get some collegiate people on, dude, or just fan questions would be fire too.
You know,
I would love to get MCE on here, dude. MCE on and like Giza, like those Maryville guys would be pretty cool. And then I know some of the St. Clair guys
UNLV,
as well.
Dr. Saul, whatever.
Dr. Saul?
Yeah.
Hell yeah, Dr. Saul and the innovation. Oh fuck, it's the innovation lab, but there's like a name before that. Oh, I'm such an asshole. But yeah, so Dr. Daniel Saul out of UNLV, another mentor of mine. As a matter of fact, when I applied for that ride job I told you about, like, and I talked about it on the show, like the VCT commissioner thing or whatever.
Yeah.
I had cover letters. Both of them sent like letters of recommendation along with my thing, with the application. So the head of the business school at UCLA, Jay Tucker, and the head of the gaming and innovations lab at UNLV, Dr. Daniel Saul, like two like alphas in the educational spaces vouch for your boy. Even though in Korea, I'm probably the most hated person. But in the academic world, in America, they fuck with your boy. Which is hilarious, right? It's actually hilarious that can coexist, that can be sort of a part of a true story, right? That on one side of the world, public enemy number one. On the other side of the world, I have like academics with PhDs vouching for me at any point that I need. Life is just fucking weird, man.
Life, bro. Life.
Very weird.
All right. I think that's it for episode 39 of SpikeTalk. It was juicy. I hope we gave the people what they want, but I also hope
let's hope we never have to do this shit again.
Yeah. I also hope we gave people like the insight that they needed to hear. And again, just to wrap up the beginning points, I think the whole purpose of it all wasn't for the scrim sharing stuff to even be brought up again. It was just a personal beef that literally doesn't fucking matter to anybody.
Yeah,
this shit does not even matter, bro.
Right, exactly. And in the future,
literally means nothing.
If you're going to put out public statements or you're going to put yourself out there, try to do some modicum of research to see if what you're saying is going to be true. Mm-hmm. Because all it does is create really terrible situations if what you're saying is not true and it just gets shared. So chill the fuck out. See if what you're saying is correct. Then go in if you want. Do your fucking homework, which, by the way,
Watch
SpikeTalk.
about this. Watch SpikeTalk. Watch SpikeTalk, bro. I'm not even hashtag adding that, bro.
Yeah. Or
Dude,
Scrum interviews, maybe.
Literally had it in an episode fucking years ago, and you even said it in the Scrum interview to go back and watch that episode for the answers. No one did that. No one did that. Well, actually, that's a lie. That's a lie. There are some people in the comments that were saying exactly what we said on this on this chat.
Okay,
and for those people,
and for those, yeah, y'all the real ones. Y'all the ones that comment on our shit. So, all right, yo.
No. Hold on. They're not the real ones because they watched the show. They're the real ones simply because they gave an informed opinion based on factual evidence that exists. And things that I, in particular, actually said instead of the other.
Insinuating that it was the whole Scrim leaking thing. Unlucky, it had nothing to do with
unlucky
with it at all. Anyways, that's it for episode 39 of SpikeTalk. I can't wait to see the fucking comments. Yeah,
I don't never see the comments, so it's actually not going to affect
roast the fuck out of FrosT. That's it. Boom. Done.
Unlucky,
cut.
Bro.
Wow. It's your time to get roasted, bro. It was mine last week. Peace.
Listen, it's okay, bro. I'm down.